Bam, we're live. I think when I get I think I'm getting ready to make another big change to the studio here. You guys saw that I set up those red chairs and I set up a desk over there. Actually, it's over there. It's over there. It's over there. In reality, it's over there. But when I point, it's better for you guys to understand if I point the wrong direction. And Dave was supposed to come in and sit in those chairs and we were supposed to do a live show. But then I took off to Arizona and we haven't got it scheduled yet. But I'm thinking as I look around here, I need to if I reorganize this is going to sound weird. I'm not even sure if I can explain this, but if I reorganize this room and I get even more comfortable in it, I think I'm going to go back to the old days when I used to wear a vest for every show. I could just see it like working better with the ambiance in here. If I changed it, and I don't know why. I don't know why my dress would change. If I change the like setup of the room, why I would change my clothes, but I'm going to. Less t-shirts, more vests. Hey.
What's up?
What's up, dude?
Talking about dress code?
I was thinking about like reworking my studio in here. And I was thinking if I rework my studio, it'd also change my dress. Like I wear a lot of these no plan B shirts and CEO shirts. But when I used to do the CrossFit podcast, I would always wear a vest, and usually like a Filson vest. And I kind of want to go back to the vest. It's a little more dressy, but I don't know why. I don't know why the setup of the room has anything to do with my clothes, but for some reason it does.
You always have the camera shining down on you?
Oh, well, I don't know where else to put it. You have any suggestions? Tell me. Talk to me. Help me.
I don't know. I just like eye level straight in front of you.
Yeah, but the monitor's there. How do you do it?
Well, oh, you're using a camera.
Yeah.
I'm actually just using my computer.
Oh, so if, let me see. I can do that. I could switch to
But your computer or your camera, I wish I knew how to do all that stuff. Your camera's probably better than your computer camera.
Right. Let me see if I can switch it to, let's see, studio display. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Hold on. I know there's a camera.
You have many cameras.
Oh yeah. This monitor I have doesn't even have a camera. You mean like that monitor over there has a camera like that? Am I looking into the camera right now?
Hi. You're looking right into the camera. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm using something where it's like I'm using that's how I have that shallow depth of field. See how it's like when I lean back I get blurry.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm up here I'm all crisp and you can see like every like gray hair and wrinkle and like.
And those are sound boards. What are they called right behind you?
Yeah, I just got these on Amazon.
Yeah. Did those help? I mean,
I don't know. It makes it look like I know what I'm doing.
I know. I wanted to fill this whole wall with them.
Yeah, do it. And have someone maybe cut out whatever if you have a logo in here, that would be dope.
Right.
Yeah, is that your spot right there?
This is my office.
Hey, you moved? You're not in Cardiff?
I was in Laguna Beach. So now I'm in LA. I'm back in LA.
Oh, how come? More people, more resources?
Yeah. Like Laguna Beach, the average age is like 66 years old, which means that all my neighbors were 80. So it was just far away from everything, which is why we went there. We went there because the pandemic was still raging. Well, first we went to Mount Shasta and the first part of the pandemic. Then we came down to Laguna Beach because LA, you still needed to give up your rights to do anything. So we went to Laguna Beach, and then as soon as the pandemic was over and LA started opening back up, we came back here. It's been a lot of moving.
Yeah, I can't stand moving. Actually, I don't even know if I can't stand the thought of moving. That's for sure. You know what I mean?
It's horrible. It lasts months of just moving things that you don't even think about, like plants.
Hey, do you throw away a lot of shit every time you move? Is that like the benefit of it? That's the one reason why I kind of want to move, just so I can throw away half my shit.
I mean, we do, but we still had 4 U-Hauls.
Wow.
Like worth of crap somehow accumulated over the last couple of years.
Like, let me see something on my desk. Like, I have this camera on my desk. I've never used it. It's 3 years old. It's probably brand new. It's probably obsolete. and I don't know why I have it.
Last time I was at your house, you gave me a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, you should come over again. I'll give you another U-Haul full of stuff. Do you have someone that you give your shit to? I need someone to give my shit to.
So I had a storage unit that it was down by downtown LA, and last time I just started giving it to people that were driving by.
Do you still have the storage unit?
Away? No.
Oh, good on you. I have some ideological issues with storage units.
What's wrong with them?
Just like get rid of that shit. Like why? Like you have a storage unit? Like I have a friend who has like 5 storage units throughout the United States, and it's crazy. I know he'll never go back to that shit. Never, ever, ever. Just give it to me. Let me sell that shit and pay my mortgage.
It sits there for 20 years.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good business. If somebody could just go through the storage unit and then split the cost with the owner of the storage unit, selling it all off.
Yeah. I was in a friend's storage unit, and there was a backpack there, and it was full of old camera gear. This is about, I don't know, a year or two ago. And I'm like, hey, dude, there's a bunch of old camera gear in here. He's like, you can have it. And then like a month later, he's like, hey, what was in that bag? Anything good? And I'm like, I sold it all and paid my mortgage, $5,400. Thank you. Serious. Thank you.
No, that's not a real story. A couple years ago.
A year ago. Not even, maybe less than a year ago. It's life. I have a storage shed full of 4 motorcycles that haven't been started in 3 years. It's fucking idiocy. I need to fucking sell them and like be gone with them. I would rather have the space.
I gave my motorcycle, the last motorcycle I had away the last time we were in our storage unit. A guy was driving by in a he was like working for the US post office, and he just goes, sick bike, or that's an awesome bike, or something like that. And I just screamed because he was driving by. I was like, do you want it? And he stopped, he came back, and he now has a motorcycle.
Did you give him the pink slip too?
Yeah.
I did something so stupid. This one motorcycle I got a stencil of my firstborn's birthday put on it, October 3rd. And now for some reason that's made me attached to it. Like I don't want to sell it. It's so stupid. It's embarrassing. I don't even want to talk about it because you know what I mean? Because I put that on there. Now for some reason there's some extra attachment to it, even though it's just another motorcycle that came from Japan.
Right.
That never gets ridden. That's probably losing value. Do you remember that being a little kid and like seeing older people's shit, and you're like, God, you should just give that to me. You don't even use that.
Yeah. It's not even when you're younger. It's just when you don't have the stuff. You're like,
right.
Oh, I wish I could have that.
Do you have anything that's just absurd? Like two things.
Like it actually felt like that when I went to your house and you had like 7 motorcycles in your garage.
Yeah. Just like, what's he doing? He's crazy. Do you have anything else like that? T-shirts and headphones. Clothes. I have I need to get rid of like, I have like 20, Every Second Count T-shirts. That's the movie I made about CrossFit. And for some reason I can't get rid of them. And it's like, dude, just fucking get rid of them. And same with headphones. I have just drawers full of headphones like this, like stuff like this.
I need a podcast set up, Sevan.
I'd love to help you with that. I'm coming down to Newport. Are you? Oh no, I'm coming to Newport in May 7th or 8th.
I mean, it's 45 minutes away, 30 minutes away with no traffic and driving 100 miles an hour.
It looks like you have a setup. What you have right there sounds really good. You look good and you sound great.
Yeah, but this is like a USB mic, so it constantly breaks and it constantly. I'll be talking and then people are like, "No sound," because it's consumer quality, and I need the real stuff.
The audio sounds good. Like I'm gonna pull something up here and see if this is what. Hey, is Laguna's the town? That's where the Montage is. That fancy hotel,
right? Yeah,
that's an amazing town.
We went.
Is that hard to leave there?
I mean, the beach is the cleanest beach in California. So that was that, and the view that we had, we were overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Every sunset was like a moving art piece. So, Yeah, that Montage has a beach, and that's where we went almost every single day. There was a few other beaches. What was Woods Cove was a good beach down there.
Did you see Ryan much when you were down there? Because he's in Newport, just 20 minutes up the road, right?
Yeah, we went to his gym. I wasn't really working out, but we went to his gym once, and took us 45 minutes to get there, even though it was right down the road, like you said.
Right.
So we didn't really go back.
When I actually remember when I called you and I was like, hey, I need someone to like help out with the Liver King, and I hooked up with Ryan. I actually got to hang out with him a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was actually pretty cool. He's really on the straight and narrow. He wouldn't even have a drink with me. He's really
he's still there.
Yeah, I respect it. I respect it. And he said he tried to move to Lake Tahoe, but he said it was too isolated.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. I think he went up there for tax reasons. He wanted to have a place in Nevada. Smart, right?
Yeah.
Are you liking LA?
I don't know. I do, because there's a lot of events here. It's just like the best people in the world do their events here. So everything's accessible. But when I think about long term, I just think about land, open spaces and nature. But when we went to Mount Shasta, we kind of got bored. So I don't know. I'm undecided. Right now we're thinking about moving to another country like Italy. So I got married since the last time I was on here.
Congratulations.
And my wife has a
Sima.
Thank you. Yes, Sima. She has an Italian citizenship. So there's a hint of desire to go to another country, but she has already done that in her life because she's from Argentina and she came to America. So she's not craving having another cultural experience. I am, because she's already done it.
I have nothing nice to say about Los Angeles, California. And I guess the one good thing I could say about it is it doesn't seem like it could get any worse. Maybe it's due for a revival. It could only get better. But it is some really that there's some a mental virus there. There's some really bad thinking there, which I guess in another way you could see is just a shitload of opportunity to aggregate the people who are starting to wake up, because they probably are lonely and scared. Right?
Yeah. I guess I don't really even though there's a lot of people here, I don't really interact with a lot of them. I go to the health food store and to yoga studios, and that's about it. And events, and basically interact with people like me. So LA is, when I first moved here 16 years ago, it was pretty tough because it's so spread out, and you really just have to find your community. And that's hard to do if you're just visiting. So I say that LA is like a horrible place to visit because you just don't know what to do. You don't know where your people are. But eventually you find that when you live here after like 2 years.
There's people there who like actually locked down. Do you know what I mean by that? There's like people who stayed in their house for 6 months or a year or 2 years, and there's a lot of them. We have family that moved out of LA because they were so scared of the pandemic.
Oh, because they were scared of
it. They were so scared. They believed it so, like, there's people there who are just like literally trapped in between their ears. They cannot get out.
Right.
Even if you're like, hey, you're like, oh, you know this. You're like, hey, just walk through here. I'll hold the door open for you. They're handcuffed like this, and you're like, here's the key. You want me to let you go? No. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we got kicked out of the beach.
I got kicked out of the beach in Santa Cruz too.
2020. And then I remember just looking at Sima and saying, okay, we need to leave this. Like, what are we doing here? And we left.
And now you're back. I wonder why you're back.
Away.
You know why you're back?
We are back. I don't know. It was alluring to come back.
You like your place?
Yeah, our place is awesome. It's just the events. Like
What do you, when you say events, what are you talking
so
about?
like the Conscious Life Expo, the just like all these events that are fitness slash health, yoga, spirituality, consciousness, psychology. You can't just live anywhere and have stuff to go to every weekend that is in a sunny setting where the best people in the world in that field come and speak, and you get to absorb that by living in Los Angeles. Another place like that is Vegas, but who wants to live in Vegas? I guess a lot of people do.
Have you ever lived there?
No, but I've been there a lot because it's only 4 hours away from here. But no, I haven't lived there.
Dude, you think I don't think anyone really wants to live in Vegas.
Dry. It's kind of like they're there because they have to be there.
Or they thought they rationalize it for some economic decision.
Right.
Hey, I yesterday, this is off subject a little bit. I was driving down the street in Santa Cruz, right along the beach, and there was a F-150, a truck in front of me, and I see trash get thrown out the window. I'm like, wow, that's pretty amazing.
Like, still happening like that?
Yeah, like I haven't seen that. I haven't really seen that since I left like Berkeley. So I followed the car, and it pulls into this farmer's market. It's all these hippies and shit. This white lady gets out, and I go, hey. She goes, what? I go, I want to thank you. She goes, what for? I'm like, I thought it was only black people who littered. And you just really unfucked me. Like I was a racist piece of shit before today, and now you have just shown me that the world is also white people who litter. Thank you. Her fucking boyfriend was like beside himself. I was like, what? I'm being serious. I should have filmed it. It would have been it's a great comedy bit. Fucking and you're littering. Who litters?
I know
who the fuck litters.
It's the same thing when you see somebody smoking cigarettes too. You're like, wait, people still do that?
Hey, shut the fuck up, David. Did I call the cops again? I know what you're doing. Listen, you can't be driving around on my streets and ramming other cars and me not call the cops on you. I think that's fair. I told this a couple of days ago. I saw a car ram another car. And then they both sped onto the freeway, and I took pictures of both of them and called the cops. And David's alluding that I'm a snitch, like that I called the cops. And it wasn't very popular in the comments, Ronnie, that I called the cops. Even one of my cop listeners was like, I shouldn't have called. I was like, what? The fuck?
No, you're just making more work for them. The insurance company will handle it.
I thought about not saying it to that lady. I want to tell you. So be careful, Sevi, because I thought, what if she's crazy and I say that to her, that thing about I only thought black, and she gets crazy of the littering lady. But she was like, seriously, she was even more detail. When they parked the car, I saw them smoke a bowl, and they were using a match, and they were an F-150, and they were both so obese that they touched each other in the car. And I just was starting to feel like, okay, they're stoned. They're fucking 80% of the way to decrepitude. They can't hurt me. So I just thought it would be a good funny bit, like to do the whole racism thing on them. And it was hilarious because it's in a farmer's market.
And you were being super racist by saying that.
Yeah, too, right? Yeah. It was great. It was so good. I hope they appreciated it because it took a lot of courage on my part to say it.
You should have filmed it.
I should have filmed it. It would have been good.
I mean, you should have a camera with you at all times.
I do.
One of those chest ones.
Oh, yeah.
You can have that.
I probably do. Andrew Hiller has this friend of mine has this amazing GoPro that he attaches here. They've gotten so nice, the GoPros.
I mean, if you're meeting people, that could be a show of its own.
You're right. And you know what? People are asking for content with me not behind this desk. They're like, hey, can we see some shit in your life?
That used to be what you were doing, right?
Yeah, well, kind of showing other people's lives.
Your life is pretty cool. I mean, you have what's the channel? Three playing brothers.
3 Playing Brothers, yeah.
That's kind of
my life is kind of cool. Ken Walters, one of these clowns you follow to discipline are going to pull a piece on you. I don't
And
know
to
if in
teach
this
you a
town
lesson.
I don't know if that's going to happen this time, but you're right. It's not worth for a small little bit. It's worth. It's not worth getting killed. I got to get home to my kids.
Yeah, you got to think about them.
Raw, how do you sit with negative thoughts? Cross-legged, with his thumb in his ass. Do you invite them in like a neighbor? What's a negative thought? I would need an example of a negative thought.
Yeah. At some point, you get to the point where it's not it's not negative. So I think that's what he's talking about. Do you invite them in like a neighbor because they're not something that you want to just shoo away? But I guess when I have what would be considered a negative thought and I recognize that it's a thought that doesn't serve me, I pass it through. So for instance, if my wife triggers me, right? If I start finding myself getting irritated by something that I know shouldn't be irritating me, I usually just breathe through it and watch and kind of giggle at how I'm getting irritated. Like there's this thing that I hate so much and I don't know why I hate it, but and it might be the sound of everybody eating, but because we're always eating together, there's this sound of her eating. Internally, it like rips my insides apart. It's like I can feel my body reacting, but she's just chewing her food. And I deal with this very often. And it's kind of funny for me. It's kind of like I'm laughing at my body reacting to this neutral event. And I think that that's taught me to be like that with almost anything that's neutral, because I have to deal with this all the time. And it's hilarious to me because I don't know why I still react to this. So at some point, my body just gets really, it learned to get annoyed at the sound of another person eating. I don't know why that is.
That happens to me, what you're saying, about once a year. And it's very weird when it happens. Like I'll just catch someone eating, it's usually my wife, and my wife eats very quietly. And all of a sudden I'm losing my shit inside. Hey, I wonder if you could cure that if you like you laid on your back with an erection and they sat on it and then they just ate something. You know what I mean? Like a bowl of Cheerios. And then you know what I mean? You would have this association with like, I'll tolerate anything. Yeah, do what you want. I don't care. Pick your nose, flick boogers on me. I'm good. Take a shit, whatever. We're good. Excuse me, Seema, I know we're eating dinner, but come here. We're going to fix this once and for all. Come to the bedroom. Bring your food with you. It's just Trish, I used to have horrible anxiety. Once I learned to sit with my anxiety and expect it, I invited it in. Once I learned to expect it, I missed it when it disappeared. Oh, wow.
Sounds like a poem. It became an old friend was her last line.
Do you get nervous sometimes when I see you speaking in front of crowds on your Instagram or to groups of people? I get nervous for you. I'm like, he doesn't even seem nervous. Do you get nervous? That's the only time I ever get anxiety is group speak.
No, I get nervous, and
you handle it so good.
Seema points it out, and I'm like,
that helps.
Tell? I know. I'm like, you really could tell. She's like, yeah, your voice was shaking, and yeah, I speak in front of people. Last time I learned to not be nervous? Oh, so check this out. This is actually, so this will help somebody else who gets nervous. Last time I spoke, it was outdoors. It was at Purium HQ. And so there was a lot of people there and it was cold. And so I was the last one. I basically had to close out a bunch of other speakers and, comment on what they say and rally up everybody based on what everybody said. So I had to pay attention to what everybody else was saying, but I was freezing. And so I was doing breath of fire and I was just trying to do that to warm myself up so that when I got up there, I could feel myself shivering. I was shivering and I was doing long, deep breathing, very strong, and breath of fire.
Do you think everyone else there was shivering? Was everyone cold, you think?
I think So yeah, it was
Okay.
cold.
That
I was also like, am I nervous shivering or am I cold shivering? But I
Oh
was
yeah,
definitely
that's
cold
weird.
shivering. And because I was doing various types of breath work for like 45 minutes, I got on the mic completely like I was talking to my best friend at a cafe. Like it was weird. So that helped, but we're not
Did
all
anyone
going to
notice
have
that?
that.
Was anyone like, "Holy shit, you were so fucking amazing today"?
Yeah, actually, Seema did,
Oh,
but
that's
and
awesome.
actually, a lot of people did come up to me and say something.
Like you
I
were hyper present and just intimate with them.
Right. I think it's more just the calmness of speaking, and I think that everybody in an audience, when we're watching somebody speak, we all want them to be that way. And so when somebody does show up that way, I think that everybody watching does appreciate that, as opposed to the person that gets on the mic and say, "I'm so nervous."
You do this thing where you'll bring people into a room. They can come to your house. You'll have a group of them, and you'll speak to them and put them through a practice that helps them reset what they're manifesting.
Yeah, I'm doing most of that online.
What if I just want to pay you to do that to me? What if I just want you to like, holy fuck, when I can't, first of all, when you say that, I get nervous for you. I'm like, God, how does he know how to do that? And there's going to be a room full of people and they're going to come to his house. But there's a 4-hour process. You'll sit down a group of people and you'll put them through a practice to basically like, what can you give me an insight into what the process is of that? And I want to do that. Can you come to my house and do me? Reset me? What if you reset me and fuck me? What if like you walk away and I think dog breeding, and next thing I know I'm this fucking wealthy podcaster that turns into a dog breeder and my shit goes to fucking hell.
I don't
You know
know.
what I mean? That's why
There's
like all
ways
those
to
people
be.
who do acid or ayahuasca, I'm like, dude, you should do a lot of sitting by yourself before you like you should be careful hitting the reset button on the brain. You might stop at the wrong channel and start manifesting the wrong shit.
Yeah, but the thing with what I do is alignment is what's most important for my process is finding somebody's values, finding their personal rules, finding what their passions are and aligning their life to that. Even if they still stay within their current career, how do we take the things that they don't like and try and get away from that and go towards the things that they do like? But part of my process is getting the subconscious active. So a lot of people are reading books or they're learning things, but they don't realize that all of our programs are running and they were set in stone in our psyche when we were 7, 8 years old. Maybe like 3 years old to 7 or 8 years old is when we learn to be in this world. We learned what we're afraid of. We learned what we are drawn to, and we learn why all that is when we were that age. And at that age, our brain is humming at a theta frequency, which is the same frequency that you're at right before you go to sleep. So it's not sleeping. It's like when you're daydreaming, that sort of frequency. And that's the frequency you're at as a small child. And that's the frequency that we can reprogram, unprogram our subconscious. And so if we're doing learning and we want to incorporate programs into our psychology, we really have to be at that brainwave frequency. So we have to get into that frequency, usually with breath or some sort of meditative practice, before we can start tuning how we want to be. And all
Does it
of
help
us,
doing that in the room with other people? So like 6 of you are on the frequency and the 7th person's having trouble, but because there's 6 other people there, they fucking get it. They like
yeah,
they get to it also. Like, you know, like tip you put 10 women in a room together and they start menstruating in the same cycle.
it's the same thing with CrossFit. I mean, it's easier to work out if everybody is on the same intention. Usually it's goal oriented.
Or have you ever seen one of those things where they put like 6 metronomes together
Mm-hmm.
and they're ticking all different speeds and then all of a sudden they start getting on the same.
There's a lot of, so I posted, you saw that on my Instagram.
I did. Okay.
But there's even experiments where there's random number generators all over the world. All over the world, there's random number generators that just for science reason, they're just tracking, and they can go look at them. And when the Earth is going through a major event like 9/11, all of those random number generators become not random anymore. So when there's major events in the world, our consciousness or the world's consciousness impacts machines. So it's not even, so a metronome's a good example, but it's not even just humans syncing together. There's also another experiment where they set up a bunch of like baby chickens, and there's a machine. We can comment on this. The actual reason for this scientifically is that there's those cans in the bottom.
Yeah.
And so all the metronomes start to move the platform together. But if you just imagine that we're all
we're all on the cans and we're all on the platform. That's
right.
why,
I
right?
mean, we're all breathing the same air. We're all drinking the same water. So it's hard to distinguish between human beings when you start opening up beyond our body. Like what's going in and out of our body is the same substance.
So you gather these people in the room and you get them on the same theta frequency, and that's where you start, where they're in their subconscious, and that's where you're trying to get in there. And is that a fair way to illustrate it? To get in there?
Yeah, and there's the process is pretty easy of like what we do. Like for instance, usually it's bringing up to the surface something. Like for instance, the very first one I ever did with people was on self-criticism. So it's picking something in their life that they're self-critical of. And some people, it's their voice tone. Some people, it's how they look. Some people, it's their performance in some area of their life, whether it's their job. And we journal that. So I prefer the writing exercises. And when you journal something and there's a time period that you have to journal, you have to keep on searching deeper and deeper and deeper into your subconscious. So we might know that maybe we don't like the way that we look, but when you're forced to sit there and write it down for 10 minutes, you're really bringing up this aspect of yourself, and you're in that zone of your psychology.
For me, it's not that I don't like the way I look. I just can't fucking believe everyone. I'm upset that everyone doesn't love the way I look. I'm like, are you guys fucking blind? I look fucking amazing. Like everyone should want to look like this.
So
I'm not changing. Are you fucking kidding me? Look at this nose, this hair, this beard, these eyes, the glasses. What the fuck is wrong? It should just be raining vagina on me when I go outside.
It is, isn't it?
No, it's not. It truly is not. I cannot lie. That window's closed. I honestly have no interest in that. But when I was a kid, I never thought of it like this before. But when I was a kid, I would be like, when I looked in the mirror, I was never like, hey, I want to be taller, or I want to, like, I wasn't wishing. I was like, what's wrong with these people? I'm cool. I'm good looking. But it wasn't I didn't look like whatever
I didn't have that. I always,
you didn't like the way you look. You wanted to change something. Why is it the good looking people wanted to change the way they look? And I was ugly, and I'm like, yeah, I fucking look great. I'm delusional. Am I delusional?
Sounds like it. I would look at other people. I mean, as a kid, I would hate the way they looked. I was small. I was scrawny. Everybody else was bigger, more masculine than me. And that stuff kind of, it sticks around. So it doesn't even matter. That's what I mean. So when you get programmed like this as a kid, even when things change in your life, these programs are still running. And there's ways that we can recalibrate them to what your present adult self notices and even desires to be acting in accordance to.
Do you think you got that from sports? If you didn't play sports, you wouldn't have, because in sports, right, there's size and speed and athleticism and all those things, and so you compare yourself to the other kids.
I don't know.
Like,
Just the fact of going to high school, public high school, everything's a competition there. You're competing for
right.
friends, and
Hey,
there's
dude,
bullies.
my kid's tennis coach said to me, this is about a year ago. I go, hey, what's wrong with all the fucking kids in here? He goes, what do you mean? I go, they're all fucking assholes. I go, how come there's no nice kids like mine? And he goes, dude, he's all, it's because your kids don't go to school. I go, what do you mean? He's all, these kids are in a, what was the word he used? These kids are in a dick measuring contest from the second they wake up to the second they fucking go to bed with other kids.
Right.
I was like, oh shit. I didn't even think of that.
It's horrible.
Don't they need a little bit of that? I actually went the other way. I was like, oh, fuck, my kids aren't getting that. Are they missing out on that? One of the coaches says, hey, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it would be nice to see your kid even cheat once in a while. and this coach is like, he hates cheating, right? He'll be like, if I see anyone cheat, I'll kick him off. But he's like, dude, your kids just follow the fucking rules. He's like, they need some fucking win by any means in them.
Yeah, but they're going to get that in sports.
I guess eventually, right? Yeah.
And it's going to be healthy. So they're going to understand winning and losing, and they're not going to be the people flipping out after they lose. There's that movie about Serena and Venus.
Yeah, I saw those. I saw the doc and the regular and the one with Will Smith.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them.
Right. And the way that he teaches them about sport and how it's different from the other parents was pretty cool.
Do you remember I don't remember that part.
There was, the girls went to it's fading in my memory too, but they went to a tennis tournament, and I don't know, it was just a lot of talk about being humble when they win. And then like the other girls, when they would lose, they would they couldn't handle it emotionally. So he prepared them to be emotionally stable within the environment. And obviously that breeds success. So even though you know how to lose, you don't let little things distract you during the event, and you keep your mental composure, even if you do lose the game. But you're always losing a little bit in the middle of the match, right? You might make a mistake. But I think that tennis is very mental because it's just a one-on-one game.
Oh, it's crazy. It's like toned down fighting. It's basically fighting with way less on the line. But it is like fighting. Hey, if anyone asks you why you like to come on the show, if anyone's like, why do you go on that show? You can hear, this is why. Some hot chick with her back to us looking at the water. My husband is 5'6", I'm 5'10". He's got huge over the top dick energy. I love it. Yeah. I love your husband already. I love never heard over the top D energy.
I know. He's got big dick energy.
God, I love that. You know what I like? I like this. I like this a Jake Paul or Travis Bajent type of sportsmanship where there's a calmness and some hardcore shit talking, and then some humbleness when you lose, and we get to see the full circle. Like I went to Jake Paul's Instagram. He fought last night, a big fight, and he was talking a lot of shit about it, the guy, and he lost. And the comments were just like, oh, you got your mouth shut up, or all this, just talking all this shit to him. I'm like, God, I bet you all of that bounces just right off him because he was so humble in his defeat. Good job, buddy. You showed up, fucking hugged him. I mean, I'm sure it stings, but there's warrior in him. You can tell if he's 49% bummed he lost the fight, he's still 51% that he did it. He's so proud of himself. Mm-hmm. And he got on and said, hey, he gets on his Instagram, says, hey, I lost. Fuck, that's tough. I guess I never thought I'd be saying this, And I just like this. I don't mind bravado as long as that there's like another side to it. I appreciate bravado. I appreciate chest pounding. Do you?
Yeah, and I went through a lot of that in my life as well.
I like that expression of man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that that's the issue, is that there's not enough of that happening. So that's why a lot of men are drawn to the Andrew Tate, Jake Paul
Like
type.
this. I like a good bad guy. Yeah. I like a good. I didn't like Conor McGregor punching the old man on the stool. That's too far for me. He punched some old guy on a stool.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Yeah. But the learning defeat, that's a good example. Fighters, so when you fight, it's almost like a reset though, because all that energy is building up, building up, building up, building up, and you actually get to see, and you want to see the primal nature of man in those moments. But then when the fight happens, it's kind of like an orgasm. Like all that gets discharged, and now you're reset and you're back down to sort of base level, and you're either the winner.
It does get discharged. It's funny. I never thought of it like that. It does get, it's like that. It gets discharged.
I feel like it. I mean, I played hockey, so we would fight. I would fight multiple times in a game. And after the fight, there's a level of respect that you didn't have before. You kind of hate the person, and then you fight, and then all of a sudden there's a bond. You went through something together with the other person, and there's a mutual respect, unless somebody wasn't a man about it and did something dirty. Then that just carries on, sometimes for seasons, till you meet again.
Intercourse is like that, right? Like you don't even, there could just be some tension in the house. You don't even know what it is. It's just a million little petty things. Like there's gnats flying around, and then you have sex, and then it's all gone. It's like it's like you killed all the gnats in the house, and it's all just, it's weird. I don't have an explanation for that.
Sex is, there's also another way to do sex, which is not orgasm. To have sex and just not orgasm, both the male and the female. Because if we're constantly discharging through sex, through orgasm, then all of those, like you said, all of those distractions energetically will be, like, those build up when you actually are just discharging. You begin to start hating your partner if you're just constantly orgasming from an Eastern woo-woo standpoint.
I'm going to tell my wife that we need to discharge so much to the point where I hate you.
No. if you have sex and then you don't orgasm, there's a buildup of attraction.
Oh,
and like going through the act of sex, there's a magnetic attraction that goes away with orgasm.
Yeah. That's why, like, coaches, I don't think should fuck their athletes, because you want to keep that unspoken tension there for as long as you can.
I love how you just take every topic and
you
make it as you just take it to the point where it didn't need to go there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Did you watch? I haven't seen that documentary about the U.S. gymnastics Olympic team. I think it's called
those chicks were getting raped.
Oh yeah, that wasn't even the coach. That was the
doctor.
Yeah, I didn't see the movie, so I would just lost what that was.
I was thinking that, so there's this coach in the space now, and there's a athlete in the space now, and I think that they're together now, and like I'm excited for them, but I'm also like, well, fuck, don't you want that tension there? Like I was courted my girlfriend for 5 years. Do you know how much my wife now, Haley? Do you know how much fucking tension was there? It was fucking absolutely nuts. I used to like shake around her.
So you're getting into topics that, yeah. These are topics that normally.
So what do you do? I'm just about to blow, and I just get up and walk away and be like, okay, I'm going to eat a sandwich.
No, you just keep on edging yourself, and eventually the desire to unload goes away, and then sex just naturally it comes down. And when you get to that point, then there's energetic interaction between the two of you, and you just essentially you can lay there, but it's a softer type of sex. It's not so rough and then explode. It ends up like being softer, longer, gradual, but then that attraction, that sexual attraction between the partners, it doesn't go away. So the next
What's the most amount of times you've done that?
The next day, I'm currently doing it right now. And
so you'll be inside your wife like every other day for a month and not ejaculate, for example.
Yeah. Eventually, you learn to still get the feeling of orgasm without actually blowing.
Yeah. Well, I definitely have orgasms without ejaculating. I learned that at a young age. It's like going to the edge and then pulling back and then just like praying, and you're like, oh, wow, I made it. You know, I survived. Can you do that? Can you orgasm without ejaculating, or not even that?
Yeah, and I'm not actively trying to do that technique specifically, but it seems like that's what's happening naturally. So there's not a craving for me to unload. And then also,
Trish says that sounds not unhealthy, but super unhealthy.
There's a lot.
I'm going to try this. I'm 50. I've never done that. I've never purposely walked away without ejaculating.
In Taoism, it's noted, and I don't know how scientifically proven it is, but it's noted that the older you get, the less you should ejaculate.
Yeah. I had this guy on who you probably know. He's the black fitness guy from like 2006 or 7. Elliot Holst. Yeah.
Oh, you had him on the show? Nice.
Dude, he was great. Have you ever met him? You guys would get along great.
No, I haven't met him personally.
He's doing homesteading in Florida. I should put you guys in touch with each other. He bought land in Florida, dude, and he's doing it. Like the cows and the fucking drag his wife into the cave by her hair, and he's doing it. But yeah, that's what he said. He said at Fiddy, I think it's like once a month you're supposed to be blowing. That's it.
Right. So, I mean, you could do that. And then it's like kind of like ceremonial. And there's intention set with it. There's a lot of things around sex magic. I mean, that's why all the famous yogis and spiritual masters, they all go down to like 20 years after the fact, people start getting them all for sexual abuse and sexual assault, because there's so much occult knowledge within the realm of sex and sexual energy. Sexual energy is what created all of us. Like it's a very creative.
Why is it that they end up doing that? Like why does it end up
I know one guru type person. I know of one, I should say, and I know of a lot of the people in his inner circle, and I'm not going to say his name, but after he died, all this stuff came out with him, like sexually abusing people. And I don't want to stand behind that. I'm not promoting that, but I do know that the people in his inner circle would talk about how he would have all of the secretaries and all of the women, they were all having sex with each other. Like sex was like a part of their culture within the highest echelon of the spiritual group, because they were using the sex magic. And that stuff goes on in all of these occult mystery teachings. I mean, that's like Jesus and Mary was another thing. Like they were using sex magic of Isis. So Aleister Crowley, the magician from like, he was all about, but that was like the black magic stuff is all sexual energy. Even when you go into like the freaking celebrity weird stuff that they're doing, it's all sex magic. And so we can benefit from that without going into black magic and casting spells and stuff, by just letting it build up inside of our bodies. because it's creation, right? It's made, like, you can have sex with somebody and create a child who then goes on and duplicates your genetics. That's very powerful. And you can keep that within yourself and create with your higher centers as opposed to creating with your lower centers. So we've got our lower chakras, right? We've got our root. The lower chakras of our body are very physical. And that's why, like, sex will create a physical human. It will create another incarnation of ourself. And we can take that creative energy and can channel it up. So when people say it can be bad to not release that energy in your body, well, you're pulling it up into, so the whole time you're having sex, you're pulling that energy up into your higher centers, into your pineal gland, into your crown. And then you're able to create with this part of your body as opposed to the bottom part of your body. And this is also, if you look into immortality, it all has to do with sex. And then you get into, like, even having offspring without having sex. So you go completely to the other side where you're having immaculate conception, you know, like offspring without having sex. And that's when you get into, like, the stories of being immortal. And that's how that happens. So what we know of, like, how life happens, there's other ways, there's other stories. Have I seen stuff like that with my own eyes? I've seen crazy stuff with my own eyes. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff happening. Are you into have you gotten into the second solar system that's coming in and people seeing 2 sunsets? Have you seen videos of 2 sunsets?
I have seen some videos of that.
Yeah. And I know I haven't seen it.
Like the stuff that old lady Dolores is talking about. I don't even know if she's still alive. Is that who you're talking, that stuff that she's talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's all connected. All these,
I'm sure we can find that,
mystics say the same thing in different ways, but I don't know what you're specifically talking about with Dolores Cannon. But
oh yeah, you know who she is.
Yeah, she's the one that came up with quantum
is she alive?
Hypnosis healing technique. I don't think so, but I was just in a room with one of the original people that she trained a couple of days ago. He was doing past life regressions.
Hey, I want to go back. The topic that you were talking about with sex, you know, I've heard everything you said 1,000 times, and I want to say I'd never have heard it as concise as you just said it. That was like a beautiful illustration for anyone to follow. Imagine that, like, there's just a layer of there's this layer of illusion to throw over, sheets that are thrown on all this energy that make us, right? And you were able to just lift the whole sheet up at once off the whole entire planet Earth and just see what was underneath it. So see what's underneath Sevan, underneath this microphone, like see the energy that it was made up under. Do you see the illustration that I'm saying? Like, it's all just an illusion. Like, we're all just invisible men, but when you're on Earth, everyone gets a sheet on them so we can see them. Imagine we were just to lift it up and see, like, the inner workings of it. That's when I'm really curious about what sex is.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, where that energy goes and how it's, like, wasted. I want to propose this idea to you. There's this, have you ever heard this, it's this book. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of the book. It's a huge, thick book. But basically what they say is that it's this book, and it's a cosmology, and it says that there's aliens out there, or by aliens, I just mean there's these other creatures out there, and they circle our planet and they harvest us for energy. The same way in the Matrix, except we're not in those little tubes, and they're harvesting us for energy. And the way they harvest us for energy is that they incite emotions. And when we have emotions, we give off energy, and then they harvest it. The same way we harvest cows. Right? They just make milk and we take it from them. The same way ants harvest aphids. They gather them all up on one leaf, and then they you know, and they take care of them and they take their stuff. and part of me feels like that everything here is in levels, right? Like but it's the same thing over and over and over. There's nothing new. It's just levels of things milking other creatures.
Right.
Have you ever seen anything like that that fits that paradigm of thought, that there's something
yeah. So if you were to design a universe that was consistent of levels, right?
Right.
There's
And by levels, I don't mean higher levels. Well, it's kind of higher, but
it
it's
is.
just the same thing repeating itself over and over, but on different magnitudes,
And the
different
higher
grander scales,
levels,
different technologies.
the higher levels feed off of the lower levels. And like
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
said, those
yeah,
levels get to a point and then it all recycles again.
yeah.
It's like the musical scale. You know, like on a
Do you think
piano.
there's someone taking something from us, harvesting humans?
Of
You think
course.
that there's another energy or another entity out there that harvests us?
Yes.
That's harvesting us.
I mean,
Fascinating. Not in a bad way.
as
Not in a
above,
bad
so
way.
below, right? Like
What?
that's as
Yeah, we
above, so
harvest shit
below.
all the time. Yeah.
Right. So we can't expect.
Wait, say that was from the Bible, as above, as below?
As above, so below.
Huh.
It's not, I don't know, maybe it's in the Bible. It probably is.
Jiggy Josh, the microcosm represents the macrocosm.
Yeah. We cannot expect that like these clothes I'm wearing, probably made in China, you know, in a sweatshop, or made in downtown LA in a sweatshop. We can't expect that we act and behave in this way and that we're just special. We're at the top of the food chain. Everybody feels like they're at the top.
I do expect that, but I do expect that.
Yeah, and I have no problem with it. You know, like there's this concept that reptilian.
Everyone has an opportunity to get out of the slavery if they want. Like we can stop using the stuff that they're like the ants are. The reason why the aphids are harvested is the ants bring them to a fresh leaf. They gather them up and carry them up to a fresh leaf. And if you're going to be a part of that shit, I mean, the aphids have wings; they could fly away.
Yeah, and that's the law of free will. That's why they tell us what they're doing. That's why they have these ceremonies and these halftime shows and where they're telling us that they are harvesting our energy and bring us into a state of lack and fear and anxiety to build that energy for them to harvest. It's like if a lion was, or yeah, I don't think lions eat rabbits, but let's just say there was a lion and that was eating rabbits, and one of the rabbits figured out the game and then just decided to not do what the other rabbits are doing. The lion's not going to really have a problem with that one rabbit who decides to not be eaten, because it has enough other rabbits to eat. So we are in this game for us to wake up. And if we can wake up and then just decide to keep our energy to ourself and use it to our greatest expression, those in power aren't necessarily going to mind so much until that rabbit starts teaching the other rabbits what to do. Then the lion starts getting out of food, right? And that's when you have people like Nikola Tesla and getting his laboratories burned, and you have assassinations. You have Wilhelm Reich being sent to jail and mysteriously dying. You have all these characters throughout history, Pythagoras, Jesus, that all get murdered for teaching the masses how to behave in a different fashion. So I don't have an answer there. It seems like individually there's a lot we can do for ourselves, but soon as one gets popular and starts influencing the lives of many, many, many people, they get offed. I mean, Michael Jackson, Prince, Robin Williams, Paul Walker, like all these people, you think they just died the way that they did? Like, they're dying early, probably because they had influence and were starting to influence people in ways that were counter to the narrative of the people running this planet. JFK, Martin Luther King.
Yeah, but I think some of those people are offed by other aphids and not the ants.
Are they?
I don't know. I mean, at least that's what they want me to believe, and I believe it. Right? I mean, the thing is that we don't see the ants, and so of course that's all I want to say is that
So let's take JFK for example, and
yeah,
the type of person he was. There's arguments of whether he could be a good person or not, but he was
right.
speaking of central bank and secret agencies.
Yep.
And then the story comes out that one of the other aphids is the person that shot the gun, but there's a lot of evidence that our own CIA did that.
Right,
Like,
but they're just aphids too.
okay,
Right? I mean,
I can agree with that. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, I think people think they see the ants, but I don't think that they do.
but they're really just working for some higher power.
Well, okay, I see what you're saying. Right.
And and again,
Unbeknownst to them.
yeah, the same way a soldier goes to war,
Right.
and starts killing children,
Yeah.
18-year-olds from another country because somebody else told them it was okay to do that.
Right.
It's like mind-blowing that you can convince an 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old to go kill other people because any reason you want, insert any reason you want.
Right.
So humans
God.
are able to
When
be
you word it like that, it's crazy.
Literally any reason. And I know people that have to go back and do like serious psychological work because they start to find out that the missions they went on were not good natured. And they were really working for the bad guys.
We had this guy on the other day, Craig Harrison. I suspect he's killed 100 people, and his life is like ruined. He says, I mean, he said he's so medicated, and that basically he closes his eyes and he sees the people he killed. Just shitloads of Taliban.
Yeah,
can't get past it. Allison, I'm so lost. We will bring you home, Mr. Weed. We will bring you home. We will bring you home. When you do these things, how often are you doing these? What's your main thing today? Like, do you have a vocation? If you meet someone, they say, "What's your job?" What do you do?
I'm a professional network marketer. So my main thing is Purium. I'm doing the MLM thing, which is it's bigger than selling products. I'm mostly into leadership development and developing systems for other people to take a multi-level marketing organization and
spell Purium for me.
Purium. It's a superfood company. So I sell superfoods and I recruit other people to sell superfoods. And when I recruit other people to sell superfoods, I'm incentivized to help them achieve success. The more money the people on my team make, the more money I make, which means that I'm in the business of leadership development. I teach people how to speak. I teach people how to present, how to sell, how to overcome obstacles, whether it's objections from other people or even most of it's in their own mind. I teach people to achieve the greatest version of themselves. I teach them to make more money than they've ever made in their life. I teach people how to live away from their parents and develop responsibility through a business that anybody can do. Like, so for instance, a CrossFit gym.
Why do people call it a pyramid scheme? Like that's like a negative connotation.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Why do they call it that?
They call it that because people go in. So first of all, pyramid schemes are different than this. Pyramid schemes are like, if I give you $1 and basically pyramid schemes don't have products. You might have heard of like where I say, hey, give me $1 and then go find 8 other people to give you $1, and those 8 other people find 8 other people to give them $1 or something like that.
Right. So and you start getting a return on your money, but in the end, a pyramid scheme, someone's going to lose.
Yeah, in the end, you run out of people.
Right. Okay.
So there's no product. You're just giving somebody 8 levels up $1, and there's like a bunch of people that are trying to get other people. There's no products.
Right.
Our
Okay.
products are guaranteed money back to help people to transform their life. We guarantee money back that our fitness products will give people the best workouts of their life. So all of our products are guaranteed money back for 60 days, and our business is free to join. So it's impossible to scam people when that's the setup. And there is no scam. And the reason why it's called, I'll answer your question further. The reason why it used to be very bad for business and for people is because they used to charge people lots of money to get enrolled. So they used to say, buy $10,000 worth of products and store them in your garage, and then you can sell them and make money. And what ended up happening was they were enrolling people to the business, and that's actually where they made the most money, was to find distributors, charge them $5,000, $10,000 to put products in their garage and try and sell out of their garage. They were enabling people into a business that they would ultimately fail at, because they would just enroll people, get a big chunk of money from that, and then just forget about them and go to
And you're invested in them selling, since they haven't bought 10,000, you haven't gotten 10,000 from them. You're interested in cultivating them and making them better sellers and better people.
So nowadays they don't do that. Like the FTC has regulated the whole industry since 2012. It's gotten they've really, Advocare went through CrossFit. They got shut down because they were doing this. It's called front loading.
Advocare is closed. They're gone.
The products might exist, but they're unable to do MLM anymore because they were front loading people. They were requiring people to buy an extreme amount to become partners with them, which then incentivizes people to enroll just distributors to get that initial commission from them. But like I said, just like you said, Ashley, because that doesn't exist in what we're doing, then I'm incentivized to cultivate the skills within my people. And not everybody has that. The problem is people start a business. MLM makes it easy for people to start a business without.
It's kind of like CrossFit. It's kind of like CrossFit.
You
pay the money to take the level 1. Then you pay the money for the affiliation, and then you have to convince people how great it is.
Right. And I own CrossFit gyms, for those of you who are listening that didn't know that. The difference is
Ronnie had 2 gyms. He had 2 gyms in LA.
And out of those 2 gyms, like 15 people opened other CrossFit gyms because of my influence. Okay. I don't still get paid off of those people, even though I was the one that taught them how to do a clean and a snatch and inspired them to open their gym and impact more people's lives. I don't get paid off of those people. In MLM, I would get paid off of those gyms because I'm responsible for those people to get inspired and learn about CrossFit and eventually teach it to others. So that's where this multi-level marketing comes. If I bring somebody in and teach them how to build a business, and I do it in such a way that they're able to inspire other people and they're able to teach those other people to impact lives with their products and build a business on their own, then I will get a little bit of commission off of everything that person does. So it's a way for me to leverage my energy. And that's where it starts getting people are like, well, that looks like a pyramid. It does look like a pyramid, but everybody starts with no pyramid. Everybody starts with 0. I started with 0. There's over 13,000 people in my downline currently over a number of years. None of those people would exist without me.
Wait a second. There's 13,000 people.
Which isn't a lot. Like, I'm just starting. It's not I worked full time for maybe like 2 years, and my wife and I have not been working extremely hard for 2 years, but we're turning the gas back on. A lot of people get enrolled in this because the barrier to entry is so low, and they think that because they tried it for a couple months and didn't do anything, that the whole thing's a scam. But the thing is, nobody gets scammed out of any money. They just blame the industry for their own inefficiencies and their own inability to be consistent at something.
Give me a CrossFit parallel. So you're saying like someone who opens a gym and then blames the other gym for being too close to them, when really it's
Right.
like, hey, dude,
You
if you were
have
a
it.
better gym and a better coach and you kept
There's
your bathroom cleaner, your shit could have worked.
thousands of people. There's thousands of people in every city. It doesn't really matter that a gym opens across the street. There's gas
Hey,
stations across from another gas station, and they both survive.
what about what's your do you have to have a belief in the, like in CrossFit? If you didn't believe in well, I assume this. I've never seen a gym owner who's not just like 100% fucking in, like a crazy CrossFit addict, right? And then usually at some point they get tired and
Mm-hmm.
they sell the gym or they close it, right? 5 or 10 years, and they just um do all the people who sell Purium, are they all just like, holy shit, I can't, are they all apostles, you think? Like, holy shit, I can't believe this stuff changed my life.
Most everybody has an amazing experience with the products, and they're watching other people come off medications. They're watching other people sleep for the first time in their life. They're watching other people have jaw-dropping transformations. There's two products though. There's the product that we sell, which is the Purium products. I think about Purium as my vendor though. I think about me having a virtual store, and Purium's my vendor that I use to serve my customers. And the other product besides the products is the product of the business. And that's something that is my favorite part about this whole thing, is being able to empower a yoga teacher who is sick and tired of going and teaching 20 to 30 classes around her city that she lives in and only getting paid $600 to $1,000 to do so. Being able to empower somebody like that to build 5 figures a month. Being able to take somebody who's scared to talk in front of groups of people and teach them how to present, and teach them a little bit of grit and responsibility, and empower them to be able to be an adult. That's the other product that we have. And it's not necessarily that we're selling it, but it's the more important part of our business, because I can sell so many products. The most products I've ever sold ever was like 16,000 in a single month. I'm averaging now like 6 or 7 just in a single month. I could probably, if I just full timed it, sell $20,000 to $30,000 a month if that's all I cared about. But it's not, because my organization sells $200,000 to $400,000 in a month, because I have other people who have access to networks that I don't have. So if I bring in another person, that's a way for me to influence the world with these products, which I believe in and I think is much better than, you know, obviously the standard American diet, but it's a way for people to eat nourishing foods in a way that turns on their gut and will in fact then turn on their consciousness. And so you begin to be aware of the things that we were talking about, like the sheets. You actually start to see the layers of sheets when your actual body is working properly and you have harmony between your gut, your heart, and your brain. But the way that I can get the products to more people is to bring other people on board to join the team. And the question is like, the thing is like, well, they're going to run out of people. We're not going to run out of people. There's still a long, long way. There's a lot of people that still need our products, and I can't get to them all. So that's why I bring on team members, and those team members will be rewarded if they are aligned with the mission.
It's trippy to see the comments. People are fucking losing their shit. Sevi eats up whatever Ronnie talks about. Always, yeah, correct. As the more and more you talk about it, people are like, this is bullshit. This is just a scam. This is, and it's like every time they say that, I just think of another example of like how all these people are involved in multi-level marketing and they don't even know it. It's like, that's how, when they go to Costco and they buy all that shit there, they're just participating in multi-level marketing. When they go to a car dealership, that's all they're participating is multi-level marketing. It's just middlemen for the product. But for some reason, they're really upset because just so you guys know, there's a guy who works for Anheuser-Busch, and he goes to all the stores and tries to sell the stores beer to carry the Anheuser-Busch. And he tries to tell them where to put the signs in the window. And he tries to sell them, hey, we'll give you these lights and we'll sell you these lights and you can put them in front of your store. And he goes to pizza places and he tries to get all those places to sell Anheuser-Busch and put up those lights and stuff. And for some reason, because you don't see that guy or because you like that fancy truck and the dog that he has and the commercials, you think it's okay. But you got Ronnie out here selling fucking vitamins, and for some fucking reason, you guys want to fucking attack because he gets a little bit of money from his sales. It's like, I don't know if you guys remember, but there used to be a store called like Circuit City or something like that, and those guys in the stereo department used to get a cut for the stereos they sold. And it's so fucking crazy that because this organization is transparent, you have an issue with it. Am I hearing this right? You guys would rather go to Walmart than let Ronnie make the money off the vitamins you buy? Because if so, I'm cool with that. Costco is multi-level. Dude, it's worse than fucking Martin. Yeah, exactly. You pay an annual fee and you get a good price because they prey off of the fucking people who put their products in there. Do you know what Costco does to people? Can I just say
one thing? It's not that they're multi-level marketing, but they're a pyramid scheme. The person at the top of those corporations are the one that makes the most money. That's a true pyramid, right? The people at the bottom, the employees that are doing all the work, they get paid the less amount of money. And that's what people think MLM is, but it's not. I make more money than people above me. Okay. Anybody that comes into my organization can make more money than me. That's not the case when you have the CEO, the managers, the employees. That's the pyramid. And that's the pyramid that most people would rather join because they are addicted to the paycheck. Imagine having
they're okay giving away their control to Wall, but they see another guy doing it like you and they want to put this like spin on it. It's a trip. It trips me out. Like if you don't like his product, don't buy it. I'm all about it. Like fuck that.
Imagine what I get to do is people come in and all of their friends act like this. Their uncles tell them horror stories.
Yeah.
And imagine the game that I get to play with their mindset. I have to influence people to go against that. And that builds grit. That builds character. If everybody, if all the small people in their life are trying to convince them to not be better for themselves, there needs to be a leader. There needs to be somebody that can carry them through that process to the point where they can stand on their own 2 feet. And the influence of their sister who's telling them that you're stupid for doing this and you should go back to working at Target.
Why can't you do both?
You can.
Hey, there's this friend of mine and his he works at a hotel. And he works at a hotel with all these fucking crazy hardworking Filipinos and Mexicans.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Ritz-Carlton. And one of the Mexican guys went back to Mexico and he went to a manufacturer there and he designed a doorstop that said Ritz-Carlton on it because he saw the Ritz-Carlton that he worked at had 3,000 doorstops, right? And he came back and he showed the manager and the manager liked it. And then he showed him like the guy, in the pyramid of, by the way, try working with, I'll come back to this in a second. Try working with a company like Apple. You want to talk about a scheme. They have layers and layers upon management that do absolutely fucking nothing just over the hill. And you pay for it every time you buy one of their iPhones and their computers. It's fucking nuts. And anyway, so this guy went to Mexico and he had more of these made and he sold them to the Ritz-Carlton and the Ritz-Carlton started using them in every single fucking hotel that they had in the world. And this guy ended up becoming rich. And it's like, I seriously don't understand the issue you have about like, if you don't like this product, cool. I have no idea about this product. I've never used it. I know nothing about it, but you're upset about the way it gets to you, dude. Every one of us has a phone that's made with slave labor. Do you guys use any slave labor, Ronnie?
No, but I know.
you guys have an issue of how this gets to you? I don't get why you're upset with how it gets to you. if it's a good product. I just don't understand. It's just a product getting to you. How you're upset. Yeah, I don't even know what the product is. Yeah. You guys don't. No one knows what the product is. Maybe Ronnie, maybe a few people here have taken it, but you guys are ripping in the comments about how the product gets to you. Let's fight. Let's brawl. Right, fight.
I just turned on my comments. I couldn't see anything.
You're probably better off. I don't know it's a good product. I have no fucking idea. I have no fucking idea. But I'm not critical of how the product. I'm talking about the distribution of the product. Ronnie does two things. He distributes the product, and he helps other people distribute the product. And not only that, now he's explained to us why he does both. One, because he believes in the product because he thinks it helps people's health, and two, he likes training other people to distribute it because it makes him happy to see making other people independent, like the small business miracle aspect of it. And it's just fascinating to me that. What I think you guys are doing is somewhere like my mom and dad told me, multi-level marketing or pyramid schemes. You start using these concepts and these words, and then so you get in a frenzy about it, and you're not actually giving it any thought, and you just want to hate. It's like how I feel about pesticides, and it's like that's a bad example.
The frenzy. Yeah.
You're not even listening. How is Sevan so passionate about the product? I'm not passionate about the product. For the fifth time, I'm talking about you assholes. I'm not talking about the product. I'm talking about you assholes being upset at him for his distribution model. Oh, shut it, dick butter. Drop it cock in your ass. You shut your mouth. Okay, back to Ron Peace.
You know, the reason
I'm not triggered. You are. Damn straight. I'm triggered because I don't like it when people don't listen to me. Okay. Let's relax. Back to Purium.
Trish, the products are guaranteed money back. People can use them for 60 days, even though we only sell a 30-day thing. So they've got 2 months to use something that should only take them 1 month to decide whether it changed their life. So the products are guaranteed money back. So there is no shortcut. They're not promising something and delivering nothing. Like, have you ever went to the store and had a guaranteed money back for something that you bought that it was going to change your life? No, you haven't. And the reason why companies go multi-level marketing is because they can spend more money on the product than they could if they went the wholesale retail style. So you guys don't realize that if you go into a store and buy a drink and it costs you $4, the store is actually the one marketing that to you, and the store is taking a hefty amount. Let's say they're taking 50% of that. That only leaves the manufacturer of the drink 50% to not only manufacture it with raw materials, but also pay for the shipping to the store. So the manufacturer has not that much money to operate with the product. So they do the MLM version because they don't have to pay a store to sell the product, and they pay less to a field of people. So everybody thinks they're getting ripped off by buying MLM, but you're actually paying less to the distributor than you would be if you were buying it from a store. The store takes a lot of money from the actual product. And I know this because I used to buy t-shirts for $10 and sell them for $25 at a CrossFit gym. So
all the energy drinks in town, all the CrossFit energy drinks, they make 100%. They have 100% markup.
Yeah, everything's 100%.
All of them. It's pretty amazing. That's why those guys are making so much fucking money. The Red Bull guys. It's so crazy. I don't understand how you guys don't. The other option is Amazon. Yeah, I mean, it's so weird that you guys can't think clearly on this. Like, we're not talking about the product. If someone said it's not a distribution model, what is it? If there's no people distribute, what is it? Am I wrong? Is it not it's a sales model? Fine, it's a sales model and a distribution model.
But every product needs a sales model, people.
Right.
It's
I don't get it. I don't get the hatred for it.
Then you need a way to get it to the people. Some people choose advertising, they choose the wholesale resale, and some products choose MLM, such as essential oils. And every time you go get a massage, they're using essential oils. Where do you think they got those from? So Amway's another one. So is Herbalife. Herbalife, just so you guys know, is doing like a lot of money in a year, billions and billions of dollars. It's nothing that I would recommend to anybody here. And that they are, you know, like, is Herbalife better than McDonald's though? There might be an argument for that. So if they're going into a third world country, they could be helping people. I would never take Herbalife, and I would never take Amway products either. But there's a point where the distribution model can serve a product that is in alignment with my values. And that's where I'm at right now.
Every Apple takes 30% of anything you sell on their website too. Like all those apps. Or
Well,
like when you buy a pay-per-view on there. That's why they've had some problems with Amazon in regards to that and buying books and shit like that.
Amazon is taking in people's products and then make the people have Amazon take pictures of it. Amazon dissects the product and then makes it on their own. And then now you've got a competitor, which is Amazon. And Amazon's taking commission off of everything that they sell of your product. And then they're going to make a product to copy yours and then eventually put you out of business. Apple, if I were to allow one of my psychology programs to be sold on the App Store and allow people to get paid on it, I think they're taking 30%. I want to even say maybe even 50%. It was so high that I was like, what? No, I'm not working for Apple. So I decided not to allow my thing to be turned into an app that people could pay for on the App Store.
Sevi does that with his t-shirts too. That's why he's so defensive. I'm not, for one, I'm not being defensive. I'm trying to help you guys understand your unclear thinking, or to help you understand my unclear thinking, but you can't do that. So instead you attack me and call me defensive.
I will say
but one more thing. Sevi does that with his t-shirts. I don't do anything with my t-shirts. I'm fucking so fucking grateful that I have someone like fucking Travis Bellinghausen over at Vindicate and Life is RX that print the t-shirts for me and sell them to me so that then I can get money from you guys and pay for my kids' jiu-jitsu. That's what I do. I charge a lot of money for the shirts, and then I use the money to put my kids in jiu-jitsu. That's it. And then with the product you guys get in return is me to come on here and have to fucking beat you guys.
There you go.
Well, someone look at this. There's a great comment here. Someone here feels sorry for you.
I know how everybody feels.
Why don't they just rethink what we're saying? How come no one's actually saying? How come no one's saying like, we know that this product is made with black men in chains, and then Ronnie goes over there? Like, no one is saying anything. This shit is made somewhere, and Ronnie fucking is the middleman that helps it get to you so that you can put it in your blender in the morning.
Right.
And then he has other people, and then think of it as he has a McDonald's, right, that sells this shit, and then he's hired other people to work the register so that he can even serve more people. I don't understand where you guys are having an issue with this. It's so fucking trippy to me. But I do know why. It's because you're fucking retarded and you won't wake up and you just think about what your mom and dad told you about multi-level marketing. You're so afraid you're gonna get scammed. Hello?
I'm here.
What's up, Sevi? It's Philip Kelly.
Hi, Philip. How are you? Are you going to unfuck me? Are you going to unfuck me or what?
No.
Unfuck me. I'm ready to be unfucked.
No. I love Ronnie, and I love that you have him on. And the chat is cracking me up. But
that doesn't mean Ronnie's perfect. Is Ronnie scamming people? Is Ronnie taking little kids' lunch from them?
Right. I actually want to know about the product. I'm just waiting for us to get to that point. And
no, we don't want to know about the product. Then we'll conflate the issue. Then if we talk about the actual product, then people will be like, see, they were trying to sell it.
Yeah.
No, we're big picture motherfuckers here. This is a big boy show. What'd you say?
Man.
Reach out to Ronnie on Instagram if you want to know about the product. This is big boy stuff. We're talking big picture here. We got smart people in the chat. We're not falling into the weeds. Then if we actually did talk about the product, people would start saying that. Well, this was all just to sell it. Sevi would suck a load out of Ronnie's product. And they would. That's all true, but they don't conflate the issues.
Use Sevan's gift card code because he's actually.
Oh yeah, use code Sevan.
It's no plan B over at Raw at Purium / we love you.
All right, later.
Okay, bye.
Peace.
Oh my goodness. God forbid your passion. How long have you been doing this?
4 years, but it took me 5 years. I was like the haters here. I hated MLM.
Who cares what the product is? I'm buying it. I know we're all programmed to hate it. That's why it's so fun to talk about. That's why it's fun. I like having the pro-life people on here too, because everyone just wants to just hate. Let's unravel this shit. Sorry, go ahead. You hated it too?
Yeah, it took me 5 years before it actually, my wife was the one who had no negative connotation to it, and I was like, well, all right, if you're gonna do it, then I'm gonna do it. And then it still took me 6 to 8 months to get into action because I was embarrassed and shameful. And then I started finding out that there's a lot of good that I was just ignoring and being ignorant of.
Well, now you face it head on, which is really interesting, right? Most people will be like, hey, I'm just selling Purium. I'm like, hey, so what are you doing? You're like, I do multi-level marketing. I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're gay. You said it out loud. You just came out of the closet on here. Holy shit.
Well, everybody, there's.
No, I'm not working for Purium, but your mom is working for me. Get back to work, Jane.
Also, I've never pitched it to Sevan. For those of you who think that I just go around and like, if people are hungry, they can come eat. Right. I'm not going to go try and convince other people.
Right. How much longer do you think you'll be in it? So it's good for business, LA. There's a lot of people and you can see them face to face.
Yeah. And
it's tied to this thing. It's tied to your job.
Yeah. Our house has a yoga, like a separate unit in our backyard. It kind of looks like a yoga studio. And so we have an event space in our house that we can invite people over to.
That's good. Yeah. I haven't eaten. Yes, that is. I didn't eat yesterday. Hey, you know what? I had this issue on the inside of my knee. I don't know what happened, but it was just hurting. There's a bunch of theories. Maybe I was drove in a car for 12 hours or I'd been doing a shitload of high rep deadlifts and burpees. But Chase Ingram actually FaceTimed me last night. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this. Yeah, late last night because he had heard my leg hurt. And he fucking FaceTimed me, and I went into my garage, and he walked me through the process of rolling it out. Have you ever rolled out? Do you roll out? And it's like 50, and it's 50. Like I sat down, and he sat down, and we FaceTimed each other, and he showed me how to put a barbell on the side of my leg and roll out the side of my leg. And it's like 50% better this morning.
Yeah. Self-myofascial release?
Yeah. I think maybe. He said basically I have to breathe in, just like how I do Energy Body at night. I basically just have to breathe and just let any tension go in there. It was fucking painful shit.
Does it
I don't know, painful is the right word. It was uncomfortable. It's 50% better. It still hurts. And when I move, it doesn't hurt at all. Like once I'm up and like playing tennis or moving, it's just like when I get it from this podcast, I expect
that's gonna make it worse. If the pain goes away once you're warmed up, it doesn't really go. It just means that you've got endorphins and adrenaline.
So you think I should just chill, just only do rolling on it and chill?
Is it a ligament?
I assume it's you know this thing that attaches here on your elbow, how it can get hurt from rope climbs and pegboards? I think it's basically something similar to that. I mean, I'm no fucking doctor, but it's on the inside of my knee. This is my left leg, right? So this is the inside of my knee, and it's like there's some attachment point there that's fucking sore to the touch. But like yesterday, I couldn't even do that. And look, now I can push on it.
There's a mechanical issue.
Oh, I lost your audio.
No, you didn't.
Houston.
Did you?
I don't know if rolling out's the right word. Chase FaceTimed me and we put a barbell on our shit. Did you lose
my audio?
No, I can't hear you, brother. Can you guys hear it raw? No, not what about now? I can read lips though. I didn't know I could read lips. Thank you for that. If you throw litter out your window right now, I'll know it's not just black people who litter. Oh, you guys can hear him? How come I can't hear him? You think it's my earphones that got fucked up? No, we hear him, question mark. Now it's off. Now I can't. Yep, we good. Jesus, what is it? I can't. Now I can't hear him. Good. Well, you're a very important person. Hey, log out and log back in. Vanish. Maybe just hang up. I could hang up on you. Want me to hang up on you? Oh, now you're muted. Here we go. Don't worry. We have a caller who I'm gonna kick Ronnie out. Hold on.
Hello.
Hey, Sevan.
Bye, Ronnie. God, I love this show. This is some good shit. Hey, caller, hi.
Hey, Sevan. People got a problem.
Caller either? What the fuck is going on? Maybe it's me. Maybe something happened over here.
Sevan,
can you guys hear me? Get Caleb on. Hold on, let me see. Caller. Hey. Yeah, but it's weird. I can't hear you on my. Let me see something here real quick. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Wow, something has happened. Oh, no, something has happened. Something bad has happened. Rock, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, fuck me. I can't hear anyone. I can hear you call. I can't hear anyone. Stand by. Let me see. Let me just think for a second. We were talking. I was facing this way. I don't think I diddled anything. What if I left and I came back in? Do you think I can do that?
I don't know. Isn't the whole show going to explode?
You can hear me, Raw?
Yes.
Yeah, you quiet on the phone over here. Hold on. Let me check some settings. Audio. Okay, Roadcaster. Maybe I go. How about now? Raw, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, so it's my headphones. My headphones have gone out because now I can hear you.
You manifested that because you're talking about all the headphones that you have. Now you have to use another pair. And you can't even hear what I'm saying right now. So
no, I can hear you now. I put it through the main speaker. Right. But what's weird is that the call. I can't hear the call. Can you guys hear the caller?
Yeah, I'm still here. You hear me?
I can't hear the caller either. So you're stuck talking to the caller too. Why switch headphones? Let's see if this is gonna work.
Cycle through your headphones.
Oh, there's a nice set right there. Someone's. I think the caller's still on too.
He is. He wants to
talk. Yeah, I'm here.
He wants to talk.
He wants to talk? I don't know if this is
good. I just got something quick to say.
Speaker. How about now?
I mean, I can hear you.
Now I can't hear you again. What the fuck is going on? I wonder if I hit some sort of mute button. How about now?
Hello, sound check.
Oh, I can hear you. Caller, hi, I can hear. Everyone I can hear.
Yeah.
Okay, the show's back on. The show's back on. These headphones are suck dick. Caller, hi, I apologize for the wait. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
No problem. Yo, Sevan, I just want to summarize everything in the comments. Please. These guys are conflating the model for just typically this model is associated with products that get very pushy sales.
Okay.
So those have a reputation for being scam products, right? Like Herbalife is kind of a scam, right? It's something that is pushed on by salespeople, and then people kind of get tricked into buying it. That's why the people in the comments have a problem. The distribution model is great. It's better than working for a stupid corporation and being an employee where you're shackled to a desk. You know, you actually got incentive to work harder and you get paid for more. When you're working for Apple, you get paid the same salary, and they bring in a sheet cake or something, or give you a gift card for Christmas.
And there's no fulfillment in the job. And there's no fulfillment in the job.
Yeah, that's why those guys all like become alcoholics and shit. You know, it's just miserable lifestyle. So I really support this model. I don't back it. Those people talking shit, I think they're just worried that the product's a scam, you know?
Okay, well thank you for the clarity. Now we're getting
and
somewhere.
That's healthy. Skepticism is healthy. So thank you. That was good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, you know what? And Alice in NYC loves your voice.
I like how Eagle said, David Sandoval, thank you for calling. He's one of the founders of Purium.
Oh, he is?
Thank you, David Sandoval.
Damn, he's done his research. Research.
Yo, Sevan, I watch all your shows, man. I love your show. It's like the only show I watch consistently. I'm not on live most of the time because I got to do bullshit, but I hear every episode you got.
Hey, I really appreciate it. Maybe you and Raw and I could go out and do a naked rain dance one time with our loyalty to each other.
Yeah. Yo, I'll start calling in more. I'll be one of your regular callers. This is just my first time.
I would really appreciate it. Do you have a name you would like to go by?
I'm sure trolls a lot. Like sometimes I comment.
Okay.
Yeah, my name's Huey.
Huey. Okay, I like Huey. Okay, good.
All right, that's all I want to say. Keep up the good work, Sevan.
Okay.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Peace and love. Thank you.
Peace.
This guy, David Weed, this guy's not talking for me. What a great group. What a hostile group. It's Huey. It's not Hugh asshole. It's Huey. All right.
Huge asshole.
Oh, you still training these days?
No, just yoga.
And hot yoga or?
It was Iyengar. I like Iyengar. It's just mostly just focused on form, but now I'm getting into more of just the traditional vinyasa flow type stuff. It's getting interesting for me.
In what way?
I can feel myself building the skill of the postures, where when I was exercising doing yoga, it just kind of felt like my muscles were burning and very uncomfortable and I was tight. And so now that I'm just doing yoga, I'm actually progressing within the athleticism of the postures. And I've done a lot. So I went from the time I quit CrossFit, which was like 6 years ago, till about a few months ago, I was resistant to get into the asanas and the postures of yoga. I wanted the other benefits. I wanted what yoga really is in the East, which is the breath and the focus and the meditation. And so I did the other stuff for the last 5-6 years. And now I'm getting into westernized yoga, which is superficial, but it's interesting. It's about the movement and the postures and the skills.
So these are the postures, and what you're doing is more what you kind of, when you said to the superficial and athletic, yours is you're doing kind of a flow through the postures. You're learning to flow through postures, so it's almost like a dance,
right? And it starts to feel really good.
Like it's an art.
Yeah, I mean, those sheets you were talking about, it's also within the physical body. There's tissue that blocks part of our self-expression. And when you start to feel that dissolve and you start to move and stretch within your fit, not just stretch externally, but actually start to feel your bones and your tissues be able to move within themselves, you can sense the freedom that you have within your body. And that feeling is interesting. That feeling is fun for me.
What do you think about your body composition? Do you feel this desire to get even leaner and thinner, almost to a malnourished state, so that you have greater, like, I just know that
there is a detachment that I have with my physical body, that it doesn't matter whether I have muscles or not, even though part of me realizes that from a standpoint of respect from other people, having a strong posture is beneficial, especially when meeting people and presenting in front of people, especially on Instagram. So, but I'm just playing with that. I spent all my life caring about how I looked. Like from
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Didn't you see the way you used to dress at regionals? You clearly didn't give a fuck.
Was it weird?
Oh, God, they hated me on the media team, how much attention I gave you. Sevan, why are you keep focusing on the guy in the weird shorts? I don't, because he's weird. Because I want to fucking, I'm into the weird dudes.
Because you're looking at it from a marketing standpoint.
I'm looking. I wanted to go know what makes this dude tick that he comes here in the same shorts every year. Hey, is Seema doing yoga?
Yeah.
You guys go to class together, drive together, get out of the car together, the whole.
Yeah.
That's good life. That's a good life, dude.
Yeah, we barely even drive our second vehicle. We've been noticing. Our second vehicle is just for our dog, basically, because we don't want to put our dog in our nice car.
Hey, I'm surprised you didn't set up a life where you could just walk everywhere.
I mean, I was unicycling everywhere when I owned gyms, and I lived next to the gyms, and that was like the gym life. I was very athletic and into that, riding bikes, riding my unicycle. And right now is more about connecting with nature. So what I prioritize is having dirt in my backyard and a lot of sunlight. And the car thing is a great convenience for me to go everywhere. And so I really do enjoy vehicles.
I enjoy vehicles too, but don't you like to it's I move, there's no sidewalks where I live. And so if I want to go anywhere, I have to be in the car for 5 or 10 minutes. And I come from a life where I just walked everywhere. Go grocery shopping, walk. Hungry, walk. Movies, walk. Just everything, walk. Beer garden, walk. Gym, walk. And then now, like I can't. If I had to, wouldn't you rather be able to walk everywhere?
Yeah, but what city can you do that? Where's there a beach, a gym, a yoga studio?
I mean, you could go back to Encinitas. You could go to Encinitas, San Diego.
Yeah. I've never really liked San Diego though.
You didn't?
Not that I don't like it. I just don't get it. I don't know how to operate there. HQ is there at one point, right?
Yeah, kind of. Kind of. I mean, Greg lived there and there was a room there, but it was, I don't know. I don't know if there ever was an HQ. Well, there was the Scotts Valley. Scotts Valley was the HQ. I mean, that's where all the media guys were.
Yeah.
I like San Diego. If I could live in just one, I mean, if I could choose anywhere, I would choose somewhere like Laguna or San Diego. What about Florida? What about Naples? Too many old people for you? Have you been to Naples?
I haven't been to Naples, no. But I think that when I imagine living in Italy, that's what I imagine.
Florida.
I imagine walking to the.
Yeah.
Like I just imagine walking and being more connected to the environment around me.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of driving. Do you know who Mick Dodge is? He lived in the Hoh Rainforest in Washington for.
Oh, I do know who he is through you. Yes.
Oh yeah. So for like 12 years, and so he lived in a rainforest, and he was explaining to me because he didn't have a vehicle. He used to walk days to go places. He would where it would take him 4 hours in a car. He didn't have a car, so he'd walk 3 days to get there. And he was explaining to me that when you drive, you lose respect for the things that you're passing. Because when he's walking,
of course,
he's seeing everything. He's noticing everything. And when I knew him, he had 2 vehicles. So he was missing the connection that he had for the earth when he was walking everywhere, because he was realizing that he was letting that go by participating in the vehicle thing.
Hey, even biking, you lose that. Because I walked for years and years. Like it was, there were years in my life where I always walked 10 miles or 20 miles every day. Years, 10 or 15 years. During my CrossFit years, I just walked fucking everywhere because it was in Berkeley. I had everything right there. And then I started biking, and you lose about I'd say 90% of the shit that you saw, you no longer see. And then when you're driving, you don't see anything. You don't see anything. And like, you don't even know, you can't even believe how much you're missing unless you were a professional walker like me. You're just completely oblivious to all the crazy shit you see. Staircases, certain kinds of animals, interactions between people, everything, weather patterns, just like all the nuances of life, the millions of nuances that are around us. You miss them all. It's a trip.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I bet you most people don't even know that.
It's a good explanation.
Thank you. It had been a long time since we talked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How's the weather up there?
It's fucking rainy as shit and cold. I know you were joking, but is it rainy and cold where you're at?
Yeah. But did you get any of the flooding?
No, not up where I'm at, but like all around me got it. But there was snow on the beach a couple days ago, and then right up here in the pass, like 4 miles up from my house, there was 2 feet of snow on the ground. I mean, which is just completely unheard of. But I think it's just all the global warming.
There's craziness happening.
I fucking love it. Bring the craziness on. Are you enjoying the craziness of the world? How do you stay away from the craziness on your Instagram?
I do, don't I?
Yeah, you're so good at staying away from the craziness. Sometimes I when I'm so in it, I'm like, God, maybe there aren't any pedophiles or in the world, and it's just me because I'm focused on it. Maybe there's not trannies trying to take over every school. It's just me because I'm focused on it.
So it's a little bit of I've went through that, and it doesn't really serve me to be on the fighting, like taking a side and fighting against the other side when I know that that's the whole game. Like you were talking about the aphids, like the elite, the people that are powerful, they gain their control by distracting the masses to fight against each other.
Yeah.
So there's a I actually just posted, there's like a comic meme, and it's a king, and he's overlooking like thousands of people, and they're all like trying to rally against him, right? And the king has an advisor, and the advisor looks at the king and he says, you don't have to fight any of them. All you have to do is convince, what did he say? Like convince the pitchfork people that the torch people are trying to take their pitchforks, and then they'll fight each other. And that's the entire game. That's why we have politics.
Like sentient? You think there's sentient beings organizing that conflict?
So I think that I personally would go so far as to say that there's interdimensional beings that are in a background war over this planet, and that we're the product. We're the product that they're playing with.
Oh shit! Like people fighting over gold.
Right. I mean, you mentioned it earlier about like sucking energy, right? So
harvesting humans for energy.
That turns us into a product that there would be people would be grabbing for that. So there would be a side that is benevolent and a side that doesn't have our greatest interests in mind. And then there would be everything in between. There would be beings that are interested in analyzing us for scientific reasons and to learn. Maybe we have emotions that they don't have, and to learn through emotions. There would be experiments happening where they would actually turn themselves into humans and be birthed into this realm of existence where we experience linear time in a way that they don't experience linear time. And there's
this is the book I was talking about. Sorry, this is the book, Urantia. I saw this book in college somewhere.
So what? I have that book, but I've tried reading it. I haven't gotten.
Isn't it like this thick? Is it like a $500 book or something?
It's a Bible, basically.
I remember it being like one of the biggest books I'd ever seen when I saw it.
But you read it?
No. Well, just little parts. It was sitting at someone's house, and I just started flipping through it. And I'm like, holy fuck, this is about harvesting people's emotional energy on the planet, like making people emotional and then collecting their energy.
I've gotten through 12 pages of that book. I've tried reading it twice so far. It's a little bit too much for me to grasp. But it's been like 5 years.
Oh shit, they got a whole. So there's a whole. Is this like Scientology? They got a whole cosmology and a whole like.
I mean, it looks like it. I think that. So they wear turbans like that And they wear turbines like that to keep the energy into the body, because the way that our energy flows, if we're making energy come up, like I was talking about earlier, it'll go out the top of our head if we're not careful. And we want to suck it back in through our root. But the turbine is like when you put an insulator on wires, like the coating of wires, it keeps the energy within the body system.
I'm looking to see if the book's on Amazon.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. It's on Audible as well. I have it in my Audible library, but to try and listen to it is even more difficult than reading it.
You even stay away from all the vaccine. You don't do any vaccine talk either on your Instagram.
No, I mean, I saw the vaccines coming since like 2013. I knew there was going to be adult mandated vaccines. So the whole thing wasn't a surprise for me. I mean,
you did know? How did you know?
Is it because it was in the truth or conscious or, conspiracy theory type stuff? We all knew that there was going to be adult mandated vaccines coming. We didn't know how or when. But for me, it was just something that was like, oh, this is happening. It makes sense now. Of course, the world's going to be convinced.
You think our currency is going to be taken next from us? Like this digital currency is coming? Like I heard that they've implemented that in Nigeria.
I think that, I don't know too much, but I think that that's a whole other war that's going on, of the countries trying to either get out of the central bank, and then the central banks they're all jostling right now for power over the money. But that whole thing might be a story as well.
The most beautiful place in the world is Sicily. Hands down.
Yeah, so Seema's Sicilian.
And so you have a piece of the most beautiful place on the world in your house, in your possession.
Yeah, she's O negative blood type as well.
Is that typical for Sicilians?
I don't know.
Oh, North County, San Diego is the best. I love Carlsbad. If I could afford it, I would go. Yeah, Carlsbad's pretty good. It's a good life there, man. It's a good life. I wonder why Allison doesn't like San Diego. Yeah, there's a superficiality to the people there. But hey, how do you tolerate that? What I'm going to say is something really sweeping and a pretty broad generalization here. There's this person in LA that I just can't stand. And it seems like it's a lot. Even when they're being real, they're being fake. There's just so many of them just can't fucking just. I don't know. There's just always this, like, there's a posturing going on there, and like almost like you're obligated to lie. Like telling the truth is never what you want to do. There's always like a story, and it's okay. Like the lying's accepted. No one's like calling anyone out on it. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone's talking a bigger game than they are. Like the kind of fake it till you make it. Like, hey, it's okay. That person's not lying. They're just telling you that they've been in 6 movies because like they're trying to manifest it. It's like, whoa, what the fuck is going on here? Did you get that, or does that?
I know.
Or like you said, you stay in your lane.
Yeah, a lot of people have that experience with people in LA. It's kind of like the LA way to be.
Yeah. I had to have it explained to me. Even my friends in LA, like when I'm with them, they'll introduce me and they'll lie to the person. They'll say something about me that's not true to introduce me to someone else, like to make me like bigger than I am. I'm like, and I just say that's not true. That is not true. I did not win the Academy Award.
It's all a game here. But that's a part of this town that I got into when I first moved here.
Yeah.
The modeling thing, and it's messy. And so I
did you ever have anyone ever try to touch you inappropriately? Guys hook up with you? Yeah.
It's like,
I got that impression from Hunter McIntyre that like dudes tried to fucking diddle him.
More
sex.
Yeah, it's there's a movie, Marilyn, I think it's the Marilyn Monroe movie. Have you seen that? She was
No.
basically being sexually used, and that's how Hollywood was back then, 80 years ago. And it's still kind of like that to a degree with girls and guys who come here and are vulnerable and just need to pay rent. And you can, as long as you have your head on straight, you can maneuver through that and use it to your advantage without losing, like without compromising your values. But if you're not aware, you could end up being
Roofied.
yeah. Yeah. Just one thing leads to another, and then you're like doing gay strip bar lap dances.
Right.
And you're
Right. And earlier in the year, you were straight.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I could totally
And now
see it
you're
happening.
gay for pay. That's what it's called, gay for pay.
Hey, thank God I'm the only person who thinks I'm good looking. That could, if other people thought I was good looking, that could have easily happened to me. I was so susceptible as a kid. Hey, when you say values, do you have values, and do you know what your values are?
Yeah. So for me, authenticity is probably my main value. And that's where you say I showed up to regionals dressed the way that I was dressed, is because that's authentically who I was. And that was more important than conforming to everybody else. And it looks to everybody else like I'm on purposely not conforming, but it's not like that. There's no effort to be yourself. And I think that so many of us have conformed our entire life that when we see somebody else effortlessly not conforming, it looks like effort. It looks like they're trying to be different, because we all try to conform.
My dad accused me of not wanting to take the vaccine just to be counter. I was like, it just hit me out of nowhere. He thought like I was doing it to just not conform.
Right.
But you're saying that that's normal. People will think that if you just don't conform, they'll think that you're doing it on purpose just to not conform, even though you're just following what you think is your path.
Right. And I think for me, it just came from not watching TV, not having anything to conform to. I'm kind of like a loner to a degree as well. So I don't have anything influencing me. And then when I would go out into the public, I would be different than everybody else. And I just learned to be okay with that.
How do you know what your authentic self is? That seems like a pretty abstract value. Like for me, like I don't like, one of my values is like, I don't want to hurt people.
Well, that can't be a value. You can't have a value that is not doing something.
Oh, well, I do.
Your value would be being nice. You have a value of like, I'm not going to do something.
But I compromised that value once I had kids. I had this really simple goal in life, never to like kill another human being. But I've given that up since I have kids.
Yeah. What do you? Oh, because of protection.
Yeah, I've in the middle of the night, I've heard something and got my gun and been like, oh, I'm gonna kill someone in my backyard. Like I'm ready to fucking blast someone. But I didn't know that I'd given up that value until I had kids. But like I feel like I'm just learning about values and why it's important to have values, because it's a strong, let's say like you have really nice hair, I have nice hair, and some people could think that that's like part of our identity that we're attached to. But there was some girl on the show, Sarah Sigmund's daughter, the athlete, and she was explaining to me that like value should be a part of your identity, because those kind of can't be taken from you. Those are like true, like good parts to have, you know? And I was thinking, oh shit, I don't even know what my values are.
But that's where work comes into like you doing the mental work to figure that out. And you can ask yourself questions about what's important to you. And then you can analyze your life to see if you're living within the parameters of your values. And either that's going to be a yes or a no. And then you can start organizing your life so that it's more in alignment with your values. And then that in turn gives you more fulfillment.
Do you write your values down?
No, but there's exercises that you can do. There's even actually in Skillful Psyche, which is a class program I have on tomorrow, we're making
You're teaching it?
Yeah, we're making a tattoo based on our values. So we're making an emblem that we can look at or even get tattooed. That the exercise is just to make a tattoo. You don't have to get it tattooed, but it's an emblem that represents your values. So you can do the work to discover your values, and then we design an emblem that represents that so that you have that reminder, because it is something that we can forget.
How do you know if you're being authentic? How do you know if you're not being authentic?
I mean, I feel it. You can feel these things in your gut when you're making decisions that might be compromising yourself.
Mm.
And we do it. I mean, we all compromise to a degree, to even if it's short term. We play that game where we're sort of going in debt to ourselves and what we care about in order to gain in some other aspect of our life, because we might have a value of health, but we can't spend all day on health because we have this money thing. So then we do something like work, which could be against and conflicting our values of health. Like, for instance, right now I'm sitting down. Every time I sit down in this chair, I'm thinking about how I'm compromising my body. Just sitting here is tightening up my hips. It's turning off my glutes. It's bad for posture. It's going to give me pain. And so I'm aware of the compromises that I make in my values. And I think that bringing that awareness to ourself is another skill, and it's a skill that can be worked on.
You know, the way Greg used to describe it, if I'm hearing you right, is he never wanted to spend CrossFit's brand equity. And he would, and like, I look around and I see all these CrossFit athletes who spend their brand equity. And it's kind of crazy to me. They don't realize that every time they put their name on a mattress or on a Chipotle bowl or on any of those things, that they're spending their brand equity. Whether, like, everyone, you just lost a little bit of your influence. You just spent a little bit. And then when you switch from one mattress to another mattress, you've spent even more of your brand equity. And when you switch from the Whoop to the Samsung, you spent a little more of your, like, no one believes anything LeBron says, right? He's completely, I mean, no one who's awake. He's completely wasted his brand equity, completely sold it all. It's done. He's nothing but, and it's like that's why Greg never wanted, when we signed with Reebok, he never wanted the CrossFit name like on iPad covers or on, like, he didn't want any, like, hey, if it's not the greatest iPad cover ever in the history of the world, I don't want my name on it. I don't want to spend any of my brand equity. Never, ever, 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 ever. He hated that anyone would try to spend his brand equity. They would even say, hey, we'll put the CrossFit name on these shoes and we'll give you 15% of all of them. And he'd be like, no, I don't want it on all those shoes. I want it on one good shoe. I'm not interested in spending my, is that kind of what you're saying? Like, authenticity is something that you have. And if you spend a little bit of it to get something else over here, you feel it in your gut.
Right. And spending is a good analogy. And I think that's good that you had the main person of the business of the organization like that. And that was his focus. That was his strength.
Yeah, that was crazy, his strength. He was crazy. He walked around like this. Yeah.
I mean, I remember you could feel that as an affiliate owner, and it was good to know that.
Yeah.
And I even found myself hating Reebok because it seemed like he did.
Right. He did. Poor Reebok. Let's sign a deal. I hate you. He's a savage.
That was crazy.
Yeah, you're right. The affiliates, they did hate him. And how about those affiliates? I felt sorry for the affiliates that like took the name, like Reebok CrossFit. I was like, oh God, that's just, what did you do to yourself?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was mostly pissed about, was that they said that they weren't going to be opening up affiliates to compete with us. And then there was a Reebok CrossFit that opened in LA. And it's like, well, why? So then it was like, well, I'm not going to use Reebok CrossFit t-shirts because that's what they were trying to sell me. It was like, well, you print your gym on these Reebok CrossFit t-shirts. But I'm like, yeah, but there's a Reebok CrossFit gym in my city. So now I'm also promoting that gym.
Was that Andy Petranik's gym? Whose gym was that?
Oh, it was
Jared?
No, it was just they opened up as Reebok CrossFit.
Do you know Jared went to Orange Theory? Do you know who Jared Perlmutter is?
He did. What do you mean? He's involved with Orange Theory like recently?
Yeah, he works there. He's like a director. He's got like a pretty like high powered job over at Orange Theory.
I haven't spoke to him in like
5 years.
Oh. No, I don't think this has happened in the last year.
I think last like 6 months.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that tripped me out.
I mean, he likes that part of it. I think that his strength and what he likes is dealing with things at that bigger level as opposed to like the small.
Yeah, he's a businessman.
Yeah. That's what he enjoys. Jarrett he was my training partner for a long time. He came into CrossFit already having owned like 5 or 6 martial arts gyms. So the way that he was thinking about the business of a CrossFit gym was like beyond comprehension.
Was he part owner of your gym?
No, not of my gym.
Oh.
No, his gym was in West Hollywood. Mine was in downtown LA. So it took like 20, 25 minutes drive, and I would work out with him all the time.
This is not a joke. You need a hazmat suit to walk around San Francisco. All the liberal run towns are destroyed. You have to know that if you're not familiar with the United States. Seattle destroyed, Los Angeles destroyed. They're all complete fucking train wrecks. San Francisco, Berkeley, Oakland. They're all it's crazy. It really is like Escape from New York. Yes, Raw. Any thoughts? Are you looking at the comments, Raw?
Yeah.
Don't do it. It's a fun. This is a fucking such a weird place that I've gotten my life into. Raw. I come here every morning and sit here at 7 o'clock with different guests, or I do live call-in shows, and I have like a whole list of topics that I go through. I have this massive list, and usually I have at least 1 or 2 co-hosts. I don't know. They didn't show up today. I guess you scared them away.
They just thought we could handle it.
But maybe that's it. Yeah. But and the show grows every single day. There's always a couple more listeners, and we're 2 years in. I think it's going to be a fucking huge show. It's just a matter of time now.
And this all goes on YouTube?
Yeah, it's just live on YouTube right now. And I have some really fun people come through here.
And you're doing this every day?
Yeah, every day at 7 a.m. It's like a morning show. It's like the Howard Stern show, and Joe Rogan like fucked each other and I'm their kid. But I'm not a fucking pussy. I mean, I'm kind of a pussy.
So what kind of guests do you have? Are you open to any type of guests?
Any guest, anyone. Yeah, anyone who can help me get rich. I mean, I can bring attention to for my audience that's interesting. Yeah. Exactly.
And do you have anybody reaching out to people?
I do that all day. So like right now I'm going to get off with you and I'm going to go in the house and my kids will be there and they'll be finishing their Kumon. And if it's not raining, I'll take them to the skate park or I'll go play tennis with them. And any free moment I have, I'm on Instagram going through my, and that's what's cool. All these people in the comments, they direct me to people. So they'll be like, hey, Sevan, have you read this book? So I'm reading this book right now. It's called The Moth and the Iron Lung. And it's about polio at the turn of the century and about how it was from, it has nothing to do with any of the shit we've ever been told. It has to do with the fact in 1890, all farmers were forced to spray arsenic and lead on all food. and it was done like that for 30 years, and it fucked up people's intestines, and that's really the origins of polio. Has nothing to do with the vaccine. None of that.
The vaccine, right?
Yeah, and the whole fucking thing ended up. It's just bad science.
So
and so
vaccine was not. It was just another vaccine.
Yeah, just more bullshit. Just more, and everyone believes it. Everyone fucking believes it. But you'd only have to scratch the surface. You only have to do 1 hour of research to be like, okay, something's not right.
Right. It's
1 hour.
It's so crazy how superficial that you just have to, like you said, you have to just go under the narrative and realize that the only proof that supports the narrative is the narrative itself.
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
It's like that with everything. 9/11, JFK, like everything big. So it's going to be like this with the small shit too. Even the vaccine.
How about what Woody Harrelson said?
Yeah.
They're saying what Woody Harrelson said is anti-vax conspiracy theory. He said nothing that's a theory. Pharma owns the media. Pharma owns the politicians. They pay Trump $1 million. They pay Biden millions of dollars. They're like 62% of the ad revenue on TV. And then they kept us locked in our house unless we took their drugs. Like none of that's conspiracy. None of that's theory. He just told us what happened, and people are like, it's a conspiracy. Are you fucking kidding me? What's the theory? There's no theory. That's a fact. That already happened. That happened from 2020 to 2022.
It's because conspiracy theorist is just a made up term to discredit truth.
Yeah, it's
just like the pyramid scheme thing. It's just people will say, oh, conspiracy theorist, it's not true, it's bad. And that's what that whole term is made. It's marketed and it's programmed into us that if somebody's a conspiracy theorist, stay away from them.
Right. So I read that. So only reason why I read that book, by the way, is because the author's still alive, and I think I can get the author on. And so everything I'm doing is to, I don't do, like, I watch UFC, but I only watch it because I think I can get UFC fighters on the show. So I have UFC fighters on the show. So everything I'm doing is to throughout my day.
What happened to your original Instagram?
It got they fucked me. They kicked me to the curb. They turned me off. I couldn't get it back. I've applied more than 100 times to get it back.
Oh, so somebody hacked you and stole it?
No. They banned me for for saying that. I didn't even say crazy shit. I don't even say crazy shit. Like I don't say I don't talk about whether the Chinese released it to us as a weapon or if it was a bat thing, or I don't do very much analysis. I just show stuff like the CDC says here, the VAERS has 10 times as many reports for injury from this vaccine than all vaccines in the history of the world. And I show a screenshot of it. And they'll be like, hey, you can't do that. I'm like, but I just took it from the CDC website. I don't usually give analysis. Like, I don't usually try to understand why, or that I never said like Pfizer's doing this just to make money, or that it's a scam between the World Health Organization and the World Economic Forum. I don't almost never do. But I've had some cool people on here. I had that guy. I had a crazy pro-lifer on here, and I'm a pro-choice guy, and we had a great conversation. I had a flat earther on here. That was fucking fascinating.
And so, did the flat earthers say? It's all interesting, right?
It's all interesting. I just want to hear the way they. I just want to hear the way they think. I want you to convince me that like the Earth is flat. Go for it. I'm ready. I'm open.
So was it? Did he have points?
I need to have him on again. You know what? To be honest with you, the only thing I took away from the whole conversation was that I really liked the guy. That he was really pleasant. Same with the pro-lifer. I was like, man, this guy, what a great fucking thing. He's dedicated his life to saving children's lives. Like what a fuck. I was kind of envious of his, like, what a noble thing to do. Like, it's like if people are like celebrating LeBron James broke some sort of big basketball record, and I'm like, dude, that guy throws a ball into a net. I'm not saying it's not like cool, but there's no, his only value then now is what he does good for humanity based on the attention he gets for throwing that ball in the net. Throwing the ball in the net is nothing. Now it's only if he says, all black people out there, no one's coming to save you. Stop focusing on anything except making your life better. Never blame anyone. Never play the victim again. That would be his only value to me of making all those balls in the nets.
I'm glad that there's a lot of stuff coming out that's empowering to the Africans, because that's the highly melanated people have extreme amount of power. And have you heard or seen any of the stuff about the Native Americans actually being black?
No, but I always thought, I've been starting to think that they're basically just Chinese people.
Well,
Flat Earther was also Ninja Warrior champion. That's true. That's true.
Who was it?
Brett Stephenson. I'm gonna have him on again. I actually just texted him. I had a guy who made a board game that's the most popular board game, like in Europe or in Denmark or something. That guy was fascinating too, and he ended up winning. I didn't even know this till I had him on the show. He won Survivor Europe.
Nice.
Yeah, it was just weird. Yeah, so I just have random people on. Okay, so sorry, go back. So I've been looking at Native Americans lately, they're basically just Chinese people.
Well,
like in old pictures of them and shit, and then they just got raped by the Spaniards. And now we have Mexicans. Right?
So there's this other story about black people already of being here, and that the whole narrative of slavery and that they were stolen from Africa and brought here, that whole thing is made up.
Well, they definitely weren't stolen. They were definitely sold by no one steals anyone. If there were Africans brought here from Africa, they were definitely sold by other Africans. You know what I mean? I would like to add that. I would find it hard to believe that we went there and just we. What do I mean we? Fuck we. That's fucking in Armenia. I'm an abolitionist.
But they're saying that the original Hawaiians, the original Americans were actually black, and not this Indian character that we have. And that
I'm having so much trouble believing that. Multi-level marketing is bad. That's where I'm at. And you tell me that there were already black people here. Jiggy Josh, all skin was black. The Chinese designers just come from the part of the world people were at.
I can't make sense of it.
Yeah, take two. Chinese features. Oh, Chinese features. Oh, okay. All skin was black. The Chinese features just come from the part of the world we're at. Oh, so that's interesting. Those were just like those nostrils. Huh. OG Americans were African. No shit. This guy believes that shit too.
There's pictures of like the feathers, and they look like black people. And that black
people, like Aboriginal. Hey, would you say Indian people and Pakistani people are black? They have none of the affect. They move differently, and so for some reason we can't accept them as black. But they're black. Do they have? But I guess they don't have that hair either. They got more like your hair. You got like Indian dude's hair.
I'm half Filipino, and then so they have straight hair. There is a difference with like a tradition, like how we would think of a black person and like an Indian. It's like there's a different quality of the melanin. Like the Indian is like a lighter brown versus like a darker brown.
Or like a redder. That's why they call them red. Like they're almost like a redder. Like you got a little bit of that red in you.
Yeah.
Like a more, like more like a Sedona, Arizona.
So I don't know everything, but that's also an interesting theory, we'll call it. Because
I've never heard this one. I can't believe Mason Mitchell's heard it. You're telling me that that fucking Pocahontas was a black chick, and that fucking all those Native American dudes are black dudes?
Imagine, we're talking about like the polio thing and the COVID thing, and how just completely opposite of the truth all of this narrative is, right? That's being sold to the public, and the public are just eating it up. Imagine how warped history is.
Yeah.
If they're doing that in real time, history, we have to be open-minded to history being completely falsified. If they're falsifying things now, there's a complete agenda. So when they go and they write the history books, I mean, school was like our modern school system was invented by a German. Like the Americans went to Germany and learned how to brainwash a civilization through the way that the Germans did it leading up to World War II to produce soldiers. So then we also borrowed their segregation policies from them as well and came back, and we did that with the blacks, and probably at that same time maybe rewrote the history books to disempower that entire race of people and make them think that they're slaves from another land, that they're outsiders here, and that they've always just been the shit pot of this country. And that's easy to write into a book. That's an easy story to write into the book. And I've seen many, many pictures of, yeah. So I don't know what the truth is, but that's just another thing that's going around right now. And I think that there's a lot of power in Black people, a ton of power, that it makes sense that they would hold them down.
Can you explain that more?
So if you think about like a Black person, right? They're more athletic. Their bones are stronger. If they weren't,
they're better at handling the sun.
They're if you think about rhythmically, lyrically, you would even think based on their knowledge that they're wittier, like they actually are smarter, but they've been convinced that they're idiots and that they're on welfare and that they should be fighting over guns and weed. And that all gets programmed into that culture.
There's definitely an oratory skill that they have, a presentation, a command over the room that it seems to be. I mean, I don't know if you could attribute it to their skin color or what you do, but there's something. They definitely, they're great people, obviously.
They're power. That's power.
Yeah.
So the white man, let's call it.
Not me and you, by the way. I'm fucking Armenian and I was an abolitionist. I was like, go fucking Lincoln. I want Black people to pay me reparations for all my fucking people that died trying to save your ass. Bam.
But we hold down the people with power, women as well. So
cage the vagina. Yeah.
So Black people, I don't even know, like we don't know if they're African or Americans or whatever, but they're gaining power. They're becoming aware of their abilities, and it's interesting.
Please don't enslave the Armenians if you're going to pay back the white guys. Hey, what about this shit is getting woke? No, there's nothing easy. We're cosmic anthropologists. You sit back and enjoy. Sit back and enjoy the depth, the freedom of the conversation. What about dinosaurs, Raw? Enough of the Black people. What about dinosaurs?
Yeah, so I don't know are those things 65 million years old, or are they more closer? Because there's definitely carvings of dinosaurs in stones in ancient monuments, which suggests that maybe they are roaming around with the humans a few tens of thousands of years ago, because they're in stones and stuff with human beings in the pictures. So I don't know if history is just, I don't know what to think about history and time in general.
Because time has really been tripping me out lately. Something's happening to time.
Like
that what?
Do you think it's going faster?
Yeah, I think that would be a simple explanation. I'm not like that's because I'm unable to articulate it. That's the way I would say. But something's definitely occurring with time that I'm like, uh-oh, something's happening, like with time.
Yeah, I think
and I can't tell if I can't tell exactly what. I'm open to it though.
There's a lot of stuff happening in our solar system, in other planets as well, that are happening in an accelerated rate that shouldn't be happening. I feel like what seems like from a gravitational standpoint, a gravitational structure of the galaxy. It seems like our sun is pushing into the heliosphere of the sun is getting smushed, and almost
What's
like
the heliosphere of the sun? The center of it?
no, it would be like the atmosphere of the Earth. There's one of those around the sun.
Okay.
So there's a heliosphere around the sun, and it's being smushed. So it looks like the sun is pushing into a wall. And that suggests that the sun is moving into a space in the galaxy that is a different zone that it's in right now. And so, yeah, you see those pictures right there. It looks like it's pushing into a wall. And what happens when we pop through that wall? That's the question. And when you look into ancient cultures that have calendars that aren't a year long like ours are, but they're hundreds of thousands of years long, they have ages. They have a calendar that maps hundreds of thousands of years where it actually account for not just our planet going around the sun, but our sun going around the galaxy and the different seasons throughout the galaxy that our entire solar system would go through as a result of that. And those seasons they point to levels of consciousness. That's like in the Vedas and the Hindus, there's ages where people are different. They behave differently. And so within that construct of how reality is, that explanation, we're in the spring season. We're in the enlightening stage of consciousness. And we're coming out of like the dark ages, when the winter time of consciousness, where like if you just think back to the dark ages where people were killing each other, it was just war, this, war, that. And now we're becoming more interconnected with each other through things like the internet, but also people are being birthed on this planet that have awareness of past lives, have awareness of their extraterrestrial origins and family. And that's all going to shift as the solar system shifts. And then there's stories of the solar flare happening. And even in the Bible, there's the flood that happened at one point, and then what's happening next is going to be a fire. And so maybe when that sun pops through, there's going to be a solar flare that completely changes the energy of this planet. And then we are all just different. And what it's going to take for us to be different is pretty simple. We just have to feel what everybody else feels. We just have to know what everybody else knows. And that's all explained in this book series called The Law of One, where it explains the densities of consciousness. And the next density we're going through is we're going to be able to feel each other's emotions. We're going to be empathic. And so if you're walking down the street and you can feel everybody around you, you would want them all to be as happy as possible because their emotions are your emotions.
Wow.
One little simple adjustment is going to completely shift everything that we do.
Wow.
That one adjustment, if we have sensation of other people's senses emotionally, and that sheet, you just unravel that sheet and have a little bit more connection.
Yeah.
It completely changes the structure of everything that we do. Every decision on this entire planet will be, how can we make everybody feel as happy, as fulfilled as possible?
Well, now we're getting into some woke shit for sure. I hope they're careful. I hope they're careful. Because people need to be responsible for their own feelings. Maybe you won't get to feel other people unless you can be responsible for other people.
Exactly. That's the reason for our independence now.
Until you can be, yeah. Because worrying about other people's feelings is bullshit.
So we have to go through this stage of independence so that when we merge, we are responsible. But we only learn that by being independent, being separated from each other. And we're going through this mess and learning all the lessons necessary so that when we do merge, we have an ability to respond. We have responsibility that can extend to others beyond ourselves.
Parenting is like that. Being able to make sure that you know what your kid's feeling, but you don't cater to them. You still stay and do what's right to how you want to mold your kid. And so many parents, because it is so intense when you feel your kid's feelings, then will cater to making their kid feel better, but just so that they don't have to feel their kid's pain. And it's fucked up, and it's made a lot of fucked up kids. It's made a lot of fucked up kids.
Right. There needs to be somebody in that relationship that's making the decisions from a leadership perspective, and not, because when you sympathize, when you harmonize with, let's call it the lower level, if you're a parent child, and if the higher level, the one that's supposed to be making decisions, starts making the decisions from the lower level, now you don't have any proper leadership. You're essentially, you turn yourself into the child. And it's like the child is being raised without a parent.
Yeah, it's exactly. You nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. And I see that. Parents, these parents fucking think that they're fucking parents, but they're not. And it puts crazy stress on the child. Wow, you fucking nailed it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Your kid is not the leader. You are the leader. They need you to be the leader. Do you have any leaders? I have some leaders. I've chosen some leaders to lead me. Do you have some leaders?
I think there's a void that I recognize in terms of leadership. There's a few. You
mean like in your life, like you wish you had something to lead you?
I feel like I have open space for mentorship. So I have that recognition. Because right now, the way I've structured my life almost forever is that I've always been the leader. And that leaves me without equals, and it leaves me without mentors. But that's something I can change, right? I have power to change that. So
it's almost
verbally.
It's almost like it's who you serve.
Yeah, but there's
like who you choose to serve is your leader, right?
There's a
that's the interesting thing about your kids, because you're in a life of devotion to serve them, but they cannot be your leader. So with them is this ultimate paradox. But other people, there's this people that you choose to serve.
There's a saying, if you're the weakest or the dumbest person in the room, then you're in the right room.
Right.
Because then you know that you're being influenced by more powerful people than yourself.
There's people that I want to follow on Instagram, but that I unfollow because I just don't want to be influenced by them anymore. Like I'm fully aware that the people I'm following on Instagram are sort of my leaders. I'm letting them influence me. Right. And that's why it's weird to me when anyone follows someone that they don't like.
Yeah, because
hey, don't stop doing that. That is not good. They're influencing you.
John Maxwell has a book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And one of the laws is the law of respect. And it basically says that people will not follow somebody they don't respect. Like the law of respect says that leaders will only follow a leader that's stronger than them. And yeah, when you get into following somebody just so you can hate them, like you just said, following somebody you don't like, it doesn't make any sense. It's almost like you're just trying to gain fuel for your ego to support why you don't like this person by following them so that you can add to the reason why you don't like them. It's a big waste.
Or sometimes I've had these people who said that they followed me for 2 years and couldn't stand me, but they finally opened their eyes and they can fucking see the light now. They're like, oh shit, you were right. I knew that there was a reason why I always kept following you.
That's also crazy.
Like people that got red pilled on accident by watching the show. Like, oh fuck.
I think because part of them wanted to understand. There's something they see, right? They see the freedom, they see something they admire and they respect. Even if the words coming out of your mouth don't make sense to them yet, there's still something that is attracting them.
Yeah. A theta frequency.
I always tell people that if I'm telling somebody something, like the the black thing, right?
Mhm.
It's not going to be the first time you hear about this. Just because me saying it is the first time you've ever heard of it.
That actually there were blacks here already on the United States when Columbus came.
I say, like, even like try having sex without busting your load. Like, just stop it. Like, people are like, that's crazy talk. The thing is, like,
I've heard it 20 times and I've always thought it was crazy talk, but this is the first time I'm like, I'm gonna give that a whirl.
So there's this notion that girls start acting crazy because they're having orgasms. That's like what makes them hate the guy. And it's the same mechanism that makes the guy not care about the girl. They go to sleep after sex, they wake up, they don't give a shit. It's like that level of disrespect is because they're discharging their attraction and they become almost repulsive to each other as opposed to magnetic. And it's because of the discharge of the orgasm, of the release.
Yeah. Crazy.
And so if you stop doing this, it's the cure to the girl being nitpicky and crazy, and the guy will now start caring about the woman. And that's worth the experiment.
Yeah, it's worth the experiment. Yeah, why not experiment?
Right.
In this book I'm reading, The Moth and the Iron Lung, they're talking about the reasons why tonsils were pulled out. Holy shit.
Even I don't know.
What a crazy. They thought tonsils were made kids into mouth breathers, and they thought mouth breathing made you retarded, like clinically retarded. So they devised this plan to start clipping people's tonsils. And the tonsils are an inch away from your medulla oblongata, the brain stem. And the tonsils also are a fucking bacteria and virus factory, I guess. I guess they catch a lot of bad shit. And so if you cut them out, all that shit fucking just escapes. The book's fascinating. It's fucking fat. Can you imagine approving, like you were talking about, what were we talking about? Like convincing young men to go kill other young men that they don't even know. It's the same thing. Like, can you imagine now that I'm in the position I'm in, I sit on the perch that I sit on and look at the world. Can you imagine like convincing parents that it's okay to give your kids mandatory drugs from Pfizer, or that we're going to cut their tonsils out? This whole idea of vestigial, is that the word, vestigial organs? I'm not buying it.
No, even the appendix.
I'm not.
Wisdom teeth.
Yeah, I didn't have any of that shit pulled out on me. I'm so happy.
I did, and it's freaking, like, I went to the dentist once, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, and they were like, let's remove your wisdom teeth. And I knew of a whole bunch of other people that got their wisdom teeth removed. I just thought that when you get to a certain age, you get your wisdom teeth removed. And so I just said, okay, I was unaware. And come to find out, our teeth are actually the switches of our energy meridians. And
our teeth are?
Yeah. So if you think about the important, like our hands and our feet are also, they operate the same way. The parts of our body that are used often are what are activating our energy meridians, and our teeth we're chewing stuff all day long. So it makes sense that that's going to be, every meridian goes to a tooth, and it also goes to a part of our hands. It also goes to a part of our feet, and they all cross at the navel center. So these important parts of our body are turning on and activating our meridians to keep our organs healthy, to keep our emotions healthy. And so our wisdom teeth are tied into our gut, our stomach. And so, yeah, when you remove parts of our body, it's all more connected. We're not like a machine. We're taught to think that our bodies are mechanical and that its job is just to carry us around from place to place. But there's more going on. There is like, our emotions aren't just housed in our brain. Our emotions are produced by our organs, and that's sending energy throughout our body. And so that energy can get blocked in places. And that's where this whole concept in the East about meridians comes into play, because we have an energy body, and that energy body operates within our physical body, our mechanical body. And then we have issues emotionally through our mindset that can be resolved by working through our physical body, and it's not just something happening in our brain. But
I love my energy body. My energy body is crazy.
The appendix also.
If you don't know what your energy body is, by the way, people, you need to find a book that teaches you how to fucking find your energy body. If you find your energy body, you won't always find it. But once you build a relationship with it, it will change your whole perspective for sleep. You'll never hear about sleep ever again. You'll never think about sleep ever again the way regular people do. You never will want to be apart from your energy body once you become aware of it. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's the best. It's such a great body.
And
so
I
weird.
Feel like, yeah, there's a lot, right? When you start to recognize that you're beyond your physical body.
I don't, but mine always feels like it's in here. Like mine doesn't ever like go away.
Yeah. If you close your eyes right now, you could tell where your body starts and ends. Or is it you don't feel like you just feel your physical body, like skin in. You don't feel like that there's
no more. It's bigger. It's bigger than my body.
Even just like your palm. If you just hold
it's bigger than my body. Yeah.
Palm, you can feel that it's same thing with your feet. Your feet are grounded into the earth. That's what this whole science of grounding is, because we go further than the bottom of our feet. It's connecting into what we're standing on. Our hands are connecting onto what we're holding.
Yeah. You do a lot of barefoot walking?
Yeah. But that's why we shake each other's hands when we meet each other. We're communicating through that. Or
I enjoy shaking hands with people. Do you like that?
Yeah, of course. It's that touch. It's a bonding experience.
It's so much better than a fist bump.
It is.
It's way better.
The fist bump is casual though. It's like basically like I'm going to say hi without connecting with you.
It has a place. Like there's fist bumps, there's hugs, and then there's shaking hands. But the fist bump, I like where you're going to, but the fist bump shouldn't replace the handshake. Right? Like if I'm going to have lunch with you, I shake your hand. If I'm just skating by you, I fist bump you.
Right. How about this? Do you remember the first time that somebody tried elbow bumping you?
Yeah, that shit's weird.
That happened. I was doing a lecture at a college campus, actually, on the Sun in Glendale College. It was the start of the pandemic when we still could have gatherings, and these kids they came up to me like this. I was like, "What are you doing?" Like, "Oh, because we're not supposed to be shaking hands because of COVID." And I was like, I think it was even called Corona back then. And I was like, yeah. Elbow bump. The elbow bump is disrespectful.
I appreciate you coming on, dude.
Yeah. This was fun.
Almost 3 hours. We worked through some shit. Some fun, superficial shit. I like working through some superficial shit with one of my friends who has the greatest depth, playing on the superficial realm with you. It's good.
Well, here we go. The rest of the day. Today's Monday. The rest of the week.
There's some drama amongst a cohort of my friends, and it was stressing some of them out. And I go, "Hey, dude, just remember." And they go, "What?" I go, "We're just playing with fucking plastic knives. There's nothing at stake here. Enjoy the drama. Enjoy this fighting and this gossiping and this. It's just plastic knives. No one's gonna get hurt. It's just." And he's like, "Oh, that's a great way to think about it." I go, "Yeah, it's just there's nothing. There's no kids at stake. There's no sex. We're not in cars. Like it's just a game of telephone. It's just some funny text. It's just some emotional uncomfortability. No one's taking food off of anyone's plate. No one's getting diddled.
We need."
You know what I mean? We're just fighting with plastic knives because some people are getting heated, right? It's like, no, it's just plastic knives right now. So for any of you if you have things in your life where you're just playing with plastic knives, it's okay. I mean, there's things you should take seriously. Like, road rage is serious. You could die in a car accident, but other shit, enjoy. Not everything has to be heavy.
But I think that we don't have too much seriousness happening. Right? We're not being raided by the neighboring tribe. There's not a disease that's going to sweep through our village and kill everybody. I mean, that's why this whole thing just took off like the way it is, because our bodies are prepared to respond in that sort of survival mechanism.
Fight or flight. Right.
So we're so easily triggered into that because our body wants to protect us. And so it looks at everything as this could potentially end my life. I must stop it now.
Right.
So as long as we get a reminder that it's not, and that we're all here and we can enjoy the journey, then it just makes things a little bit more pleasant for us all.
Please tell Seema I said hi. I mean that. It's not like just one of those things where I'm just like, hey, someone passed you. Oh, tell your wife I said hi. Tell her I said hi, and thank you for letting us have you for 3 hours this morning.
She's asking me right now if we're done. She just texted me as you were saying that. So you guys must be on the must have felt that. That's how it works, people. I
feel everything. Brother, thank you. I know this is just one of thousands of times you'll be on the show. And I always appreciate you making the time for us.
Yeah. And I admire your consistency with this show as well, because it's
thank you. I'm having fun. It's so easy. I'm having so much fun. It's as Quagmire would say, giggity. All right. I'll see you soon. If you're ever up this way, of course, check in, and I'll do the same if I'm down your way. Oh, I'm going to be in Newport in May. I'll text you. Low pressure. Always low pressure S.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Late.
How about hot plot? Oh, hey, I've never seen my wife in the fucking comments. Holy shit. I should call my wife. You guys want me to call my wife? Let's see. Let's wait a few minutes. I have to pee. Let me see. Find out if it's raining. If it's not raining, I'm going to be so happy. Hi.
Hi.
I've never seen you in the comments.
I've never seen you in the comments either. I saw Allison say she needed CBD after all that.
Oh.
And so I said, Pilates. She and I go sometimes. Yeah, it's drizzling.
Okay. All right. I'm going to wrap up here, and then I'll come in there. Are you going somewhere? Are you going to Hot Pilates?
Yeah, but it's at 11.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Next time I call, tell the kids to be quiet, please. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye.
That's it. No, you don't get a fucking Haley interview. That's it. That's all. You guys that's it. There's never going to be any more of her than that. She is a servant of the boys of the house, and she doesn't have time for this podcasting nonsense. Wow, we went through some shit today on the show, huh? Excuse me. That was some great shit. Multi-level marketing. I know it's weird, right? The whole the fact that he just leans right into it. I like it. Whew, a lot of text this morning. It looks like there's a last minute show popping up tonight. We are going to. She is very seductive. Haley is very seductive. She is a powerful woman, a calm, chill, but she has me wrapped around her finger. Brian Friend has got me. We're gonna try doing a frisbee disc golf show or something. I don't know, but I guess the disc golf tour has started. And Brian's a huge fan of it, and he's giving me 4 shows to watch, and I watched them and got up to speed on them, and it's in Las Vegas, and I think it just happened. And I watched them, and I got a fucking million questions for them and some time codes, and so hopefully tonight we're going to do a Frisbee show. I don't think the 23.2 recap. We have a show Tuesday night and Thursday night. That's all I know about the Open. Tuesday night. And then tomorrow, disc golf show is tonight. And then the CrossFit Open show is tomorrow. But tomorrow morning, we have an amazing guest on. I wonder if I can find you his Instagram. Oh, shit. I'm starting to do the P dance. The guy's name is Brett Pike. Brett Pike. See if I could find Brett Pike on Instagram. I'll show you really quick. By the way, a lot of people DM me. A dozen people DM me about that fight between Lane Norton and our dear friend, the carnivore ND, Paul Saladino. People who worked in hospitals. And they all said the same thing. They all said, yeah, there is good food in hospitals, but they push all the fucking crap. And all the crap is for free. Okay. This is the guy. The name of the Instagram account is called Classical Learner. And his name's Brett Pike. Man, he looks young. He is so smart. He's turned into a homeschooling fucking guru. He is something else. This account is so valuable. He gives away so much good free content. Oh, look, that looks like a young Allison NYC. That looks like that's what Allison used to look like 5 or 10 years ago. She still looks the same. Should I click this? Maybe it won't be anything like her. Doesn't that look like you, Allison? Like a little 20-year-old version of you? Anyway, this guy's coming on tomorrow. It's going to be a great interview. All right. Well, I think it's going to be a great interview. It has potential to be a great interview. They're all great interviews. I don't do bad interviews. That's not true. I fucked up Craig Harrison. I have JR on tonight with the Frisbee golf shit. Look at you, smarty pants. Zach Jones. I went to classical school, grammar, logic, rhetoric stages. Wow. Wow. All right. Thanks, guys. I will see you this evening. Thanks again to Raw of Earth. Always a great guest. You guys were gracious even in your assholeness. It felt very familial. Thank you. And I will talk to you guys this evening. Bye-bye.